Hello, people.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We are back. What is happening? Next round.
Yeah, next round, basically.
Next round is happening.
So,
I'm just tweeting, so then people know stuff, but that's okay. So next round, everyone, is knife to the hizzle.
yes, no, to the heart. Yes, I know, Wes. We are running a little bit late. Only 10 minutes. Hopefully, we can make up for it. So, yeah, we are doing knife to the heart. We have got our matchups ready. We have got the stream table getting set up. So at the moment on the stream table we have Skaventide versus Destruction.
Mixed Destruction. So this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Rightio, so as we know, playing knife to the heart, both of our generals at the moment is Josh Bonza, who is a Toowoomba local, just sort of played fantasy, I believe, back in the day, but is getting back into it as well, using some of Mick and Gemma's models, I believe, at the moment, but looking at getting his own filthy rats.
He is. He's going to get his own Skaventide. So he has fallen in love with the rats. Who doesn't fall in love with rats? I mean,
probably anyone who has to play against them, probably. But that's
anyone
okay.
who's seen one, anyone who's smelt one, anyone who wants to play against
Shop all
one.
over from
Oh yeah, I was just sorry. I just
okay.
realised I haven't been really in the scene. I was hiding on the edge. So yeah, basically we've mixed Destruction and Skaventide. So hopefully we can get a long game out of this one.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Like, obviously Dino is an absolute boss, a boss general, maybe even a mega boss potentially. So he's definitely, absolutely excellent general. Dino is affiliated and one of the TO organisers of Brishammer. So absolute, legend of a dude. So might just quickly go through the lists, and we will, just basically wait to see what's going on, basically. Absolutely.
It won't take long. I feel like they're getting amongst it.
Cool. So I'll go through the Skaventide because it's a little bit longer. Josh Bonza, Allegiance Skaventide leaders, Gracier on a Screaming Bell. That is the general. He has the Master of Magic, so that's +1 to cast on one spell. Also has Death Frenzy from the Law of Ruin. So basically when something dies it can pile in an attack. This will make sense what's going on as we go through the list. Plague Priest on Plague Furnace. We've also got a Warlock Bombardier with a Vigorous Injector, which is +1 to hit, +1 to charge, but D3 mortal wounds at the start of the next hero phase. So very Skaven indeed. We've also got let's go more War Power. So it's reroll hits, reroll wounds, but again, D3 mortal wounds at the start of the next hero phase. He's got 20 Clan Rats with Rusty Spears, 9.
The big 9
Storm Fiends.
9 Storm Fiends.
We've got 3 Rattling Cannons, 3 Wind Launchers, and 3 Shock Fists. We've got 10 Storm Vermin, 10 Storm Vermin, and then 40 Plague Monks with Fetid Blades. So lots and lots of attacks. Some grossness indeed. And we've also got the Geminids of Ulgish. For some potential debuffs. So
yes, let's hope he can get some of those off. See how he plays. I wonder if he gets nervous being on the stream since he's a newbie.
He'll be fine. He'll be right. Paris is ice cold, baby. Ice cold.
Ice cold.
And then for Dino, we have Mixed Destruction. So obviously Allegiance Destruction from the mortal realm of Gairan. Leaders, Scragrot the Loon King as his general. So obviously he'll benefit from CP generation in that regards. Fungal Cave Shaman for some more CP generation. A Huskard on Thunder Tusk, which is cool. Don't get to see those very often, so he'll be flinging snowballs at people, doing little wounds, which is going to be, hey, it's an ability.
I'm actually happy to see one.
There's some legs. Tyrant with the Great Gouger. So on a 6-up, it does double damage, so 6 damage. But he's also got the artifact Gaia Strike, so on 5, so he'll be doing double damage. So 18 damage potential from, it's like heaps of damage potential there. Butcher with a pair of Stump Blades and the Great Cauldron. Cauldron obviously buffs. We have a fly, we have a friend.
We have a friend. He should be over at the rat table though.
He should be. So pull stuff out of his Cauldron for buffs, I believe. So that's cool. Battle line, 12 Ogres with Ogre clubs and Iron Fists. We've got 10 Oryx, and 10 Oryx, all with choppers, and we've got 15 Boingrot Bounders, so obviously a flying unit, some mortal wound potential there as well, and we've also got the Malevolent Moon, which will be really interesting in this game, so some debuffs to casting, which will be really cool, and also probably the best, probably one of the most like slept on spells in AOS, I feel, and we've also got the Skaventide, so an absolute pain in the butt spell that could potentially wreak some havoc on some, yeah, like just chip off wounds, kill some characters, could do lots and lots of things. So, yeah, really, really interesting there. The Skaven is 2,000 points on the nose, and Dino is 1980, so Dino will get a triumph as well. So,
awesome.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Basically have started doing some deployments, so we might have to skip over to...
Yeah, so we'll switch over and, yeah, let us know what's going on. So, nice.
Alright, sorry everybody. We just realised that we lost sound. Thanks, Kelsicle, for telling us that.
Yes, so we were just talking about it's going to be a really interesting game, mainly because Dino is a very been playing Destruction for a super long time, really good general. Paris obviously a bit newer to the game, but obviously has a fairly powerful army. So yeah, it'd be really, really interesting. So keen to see how this transpires. Dino and Destruction. So that's basically, yeah, let us know in the chat, who do you think is a bit of a favourite here? Do you think that the experience is going to be what sort of prevails in this instance, or do we feel that Skaven are just too powerful? Let us know what you think. No worries, Kelsicle. Hello, Wes, how we doing? What's everyone up to? Let us know what's happening. Thanks for hanging out, Kelsicle. What's for dinner? Let us know. And if, yeah, we might see you later, or we might see you tomorrow. Thanks, mate. So we've got Josh and Skaventide. And Skaven. So it's all happening. So super cool. So yeah, we're pretty much just gearing up, ready to go. Dad bods for days, absolutely. We've got 12 Ogres. So don't know if Dino is excited and keen for some more tribes. Dino being Dino, I'd say he probably will be, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm pretty keen. I think more tribes is probably going to be pretty hectic. Yeah, me too, Wes. Me too. I don't know if I'll play any, but I think that they're pretty freaking sweet. So looking at how everything's going at the moment, it's looking like we're putting in. Yeah, it looks like we're putting in what looks like plague monks, I'm guessing. Sort of in this sort of general area here. Looks like Dino's obviously making use of his, making use of all of the boys. So basically just denying a bit of space for the null holes. There's so many things to remember. Different names, crazy names. So obviously with the one null hole here, and one over here. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. So obviously, from my understanding, you've got sort of like a safe home, which you sort of use as a bit of an arcane terrain buff to help with spellcasting, which he's obviously going to need with the Malevolent Moon if that sort of gets out because of all the debuffs in that area. But yeah, it should be interesting. I'm really keen.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome actually to see how these two play against each other.
Back on the chat, Fire Bellies, Man Eaters, Busters, Beast Claw Raiders, Giants, all in one book. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be cool. Wes, I think it's going to be good. Like, more tribes, ogres, like, what's there not to like about that? So obviously some more stuff going on. We've got some Storm Fiends on the top right-hand corner of the screen. We've also got, I'm not sure if the other Storm Fiends next to the objective are deployed or not, but that's okay. They can hang out.
I guess we'll soon find out if he grabs them, I suppose.
Absolutely. So this is going to be, I think, the interesting things and the struggles that I think Dino's going to have will definitely be the Plague Monks and the Storm Fiends. I think that's probably going to be definitely a big, going to be a really big challenge, I think, for, or potentially, Dino might just walk all over him. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, so Storm Fiends is going to be hard to get through, but he's got a lot on the table that is also hard to get through, like year 12. I know ogres don't really have a fantastic save, but if they come across the table and punch you, they can do a fair bit of damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially like a Tyrant, like if you're rolling like a few 5s and 6s to wound and sort of getting double damage, 6 damage, you're killing like a Storm Fiend a hit, so which is a scary prospect. When you can sort of, well, what's a unit of Storm Fiends worth? 9 Storm Fiends is 780 points, so you could potentially like chop that through. If they don't have a hero nearby, like that could be a very expensive unit killed pretty quick. So
definitely. Well, we all know that this that unit was taken off by Gottschmeck in the last game, so one character himself could do it. But he is a beast. I know he's a beast. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. He's obviously put, I think he's put the Plague Monks in front of the furnace there. So that's pretty awesome. Those guys can help push it along.
Yeah, absolutely. Or maybe pushing them along, who knows.
Just power through their own fellas.
That's right. Well, it is Skaven, so it's kind of thematic that would happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them.
Absolutely.
Get out of my way. I need to run someone over.
Yes. Back on the chat, my man Wes is saying he would like to cosplay as an Iron Guard. Yeah, absolutely, man. And Pat's going to be his Norblar, so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I'd like to see that happen.
Ham is saying, I painted them holes and the bellies.
Yes, you did. And he did a fantastic job. So they stand out on the table because they are like a fluoro green. They've got a glow effect happening. So Ham, well done, sir. They look fantastic on the stream. So not only has somebody painted the terrain on this table, but they've also painted the army.
So Ham has essentially painted like everything but Dino's army, effectively. So
pretty much, yeah. So well done, sir.
Absolutely, and a big shout out to Nick Bentley. Brought over some Allen's party mix, so some lollies to get us through this last round. Massive shout out to him, beautiful man.
Champion himself.
Really appreciate the lollies, to be honest. I'm pretty keen.
Yeah, I'd also like to add a shout out to Nick Bentley and the Bruce Hammer fellas because they've also donated a Sylvaneth Start collecting box to our prize pool. Mm-hmm. So legends, good on them.
So we've got our 9 Storm Fiends are now deployed on the right hand side of the board.
Oh, there goes the Thunder Tusk. It is down. It is ready to roll some snowballs out of its face.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see sort of what the target priority is going to be with that. Whether they're going to be trying to pick up some Storm Fiends and try and whittle that down quickly, get rid of some like Plague Monks, or what's the target going to be there?
Yeah, well, the Norholes are in an interesting position as well. So he's basically applied a bit of pressure with those Norholes, especially one being around the back end there. So he can potentially just bring up some rats over there if he plays it right. So there's always going to be pressure there. Dino has to keep that in the back of his mind. Yeah. You don't want something sneaky coming up the back there.
Well, I think it's one of those things where he's positioned, sort of where he's positioned things in this sort of general area here, it's doing two jobs. So it's sort of neutralizing and putting out of action that gnaw hole, as well as sort of protecting his objective there. So yeah, it's sort of doing two jobs there, I feel. So
Yep,
it's good positioning and some good area denial will probably be a good thing. Yeah, like he's got some bodies and he's got some punch, so it's a fairly well balanced sort of like list, really.
It is actually, yeah. I'm keen to see how it plays on the table. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get around and talk to Josh himself too much. So if I accidentally call him Paris on the stream, that is his nickname.
Yeah, so Josh Bonza, playing the Skaven, is affectionately known as Paris by most people. So you'll probably hear Paris a lot of the time.
Yeah, and it'll probably slip out if you don't know what it means. It's actually Josh. So, we'll put it in there. That's a good idea, Josh. Look at you go.
Oh, look at me go.
Hey, all over it. So, yeah. So hopefully the table boss can get back there shortly and let us know who's taking the first turn and all that sort of stuff, because I've seen a few dice rolls already.
Yep.
And so we'll see if we can determine. It looks like the Skaven player.
Looks like Paris might. Yeah, looks like Paris has potentially won the roll.
I'm guessing the Skaven guy is taking first turn. Oh goodness, so he has taken the first turn, and those two dice rolls, and I saw a little clap at the hands there, and I thought to myself, I wonder if those are 2 6s, and they are.
Oh,
so
shit.
Free Vermin Lord to start the game.
Oh, goddamn.
Oh my god.
That's interesting. That's definitely interesting. Whether Paris has been a little bit hasty and sort of getting it in the action straight away, as opposed to making the use of it. That's it's an interesting tactic, because that Warp Seer has a really great spell. I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but yeah, you can sort of stifle movement, reduce charges, and you just can't fly. So him throwing it straight out there, it's it's an interesting move.
It's interesting. He's not protected. They do have an after save now, so a lot of people are getting a little bit more confident with them.
It's always had the after save. So
has it? I don't play the Warp Seer, sorry.
Yeah, so his Pokeball, as Brewer did gives him an after save, so he can re-roll his saves, I should say. I'm not sure if it's changed to a Mortal Wound save now or not.
I'm not sure. So he can re-roll his saves, but is it actually an after save?
In the past, it was you could re-roll your saves, and then as long as you're holding it, but you could throw it in the past for D6 Mortal Wounds straight.
And then you lose the re-rolling save. So
correct.
I think all the Vermin Lords have like a 5-up after save now. I'm not sure whether the Warp Seer gets that or not. So so that sort of makes him a little bit harder to put down, but throwing him out there like that is certainly exciting. So Lord Screech he has brought on, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. So, I'm not super familiar, but we'll find out a bit more info and we'll go from there.
Yeah, Lord Screech is pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll get his profile up and get him amongst the game, see what he can do. So, a pretty good start having a couple hundred points extra up your sleeve straight away.
A Free Vermin Lord is not bad, because they're not the cheapest unit in the game, but having one on the table is definitely... I wouldn't be upset if I was Paris, that's for sure. So,
no, so it looks like as he casts a spell, does Lord Screech have a spell that he's currently cast or something? Because I'm just trying to work out why he's rolling so many dice.
So Lord Screech...
So he got another double 6 and cast the spell off Lord Screech.
Yeah, so the grade 13 spell, blah, 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 casting value of 8, pick one enemy unit with 13 of the cast invisible to them, roll 13 dice. For each 4-up, it suffers 1 mortal wound. You can summon 1 unit of clan rats to the battlefield, add it to your armies. Wow, so he's getting all of the summon units.
Oh my goodness. 1
model for each mortal wound that is inflicted by the spell. The summon unit must be set up wholly within 13 inches of the caster and more than 9 inches away. So,
it looks like he's doing that now. So I don't know how many wounds is it, or how many models.
Yeah, so if they suffer a mortal wound, you get a clan rat for each mortal wound. So
he killed 2 bounders and did 4 mortal wounds, so that would mean
4
rats come onto the table.
Yep.
So that is pretty awesome. So not only has he got a Vermin Lord, he's also got 4 rats just to be a pain in the butt.
Yeah, and he's killed 2 bounders as well, so that's like some potential mortal wound output that's no longer there. So
yeah. So awesome. So it's off to a good start so far.
So yeah, pretty exciting stuff. Yeah, like it's bold, but like I can understand where he's at as well. So yeah, let's see what happens here.
Yeah, I'm keen.
Yeah, I'm really
so
interested.
Keen now. Like
yeah.
double sixes straight away, and then kills 2 bananas, 4 rats. Like woo!
Yeah, it's definitely
time.
absolutely yeah, very exciting. A little bit. I don't know if I was
nervous too though.
If I was Dino, I'd just be like, God damn it! Like this is so frustrating. He's definitely moving straight up.
He is being super aggressive with that Mr. Screech there. He is 3 inches away.
Well, I guess like in the same vein though, it didn't cost him anything. It's not going to cost any VPs.
Yep.
So like throwing it in there, potentially taking some pressure off, or even applying some pressure, I should say, potentially isn't a bad move either. Because don't forget, he's still got a big unit of Storm Fiends, big unit of Plague Monks that potentially could be Death Frenzied, as well as like the rest of the army. Like there's nothing that's really lacking, really. Like obviously the clan rats are there because of more so their abilities of retreat and charge, bodies for his home objective. But like Storm Vermin is still great. Like everything's still so good.
It is so good. So he's also managed to cast more warp power on the unit of Plague Monks and Death Frenzy.
Oh Jesus!
So
okay. So obviously with more
on
frenzy.
The Storm Fiends. Sorry, I misunderstood. The Storm Fiends got more warp power.
Yep.
And the Plague Monks have got Death Frenzy.
Yep. Okay. So again, for anyone who doesn't remember, Death Frenzy, when a model dies, it can pile in an attack before it dies. More warp power, reroll hits, reroll wounds. On everything, that massive unit of Storm Fiends. So 3 rattling cannons, 3 wind launchers, and 3 shock fists. So that's a terrifying unit.
Yes, it is a terrifying unit. So I'm also interested to see, because that Lord Screech is a hero. So is it a hero that has to be near the Norhalls, or does it have to be a specific type to be able to bring units up near Norhalls?
I believe it should be a hero.
Just a hero, yep. I wasn't sure if it had to be a particular type of hero.
Yeah.
So because he's within range there, I'm wondering if he's planning to charge with that Lord Screech, or whether he's just sitting in there as bait, or sitting in there to use to bring units up into that Norhall too. So there's a few different options he's got there. So we'll see what he ends up doing.
I'll be very honest. I am not the most proficient and up to date with Skaven. There isn't a huge amount of people who play them in Australia, so it's not an army that I'm the most familiar with. If we do get anything wrong, guys, please feel free to jump in, let us know. Keep us up to date. Keep us honest, Keep us honest with what we're sort of telling everyone as to what's happening.
Yeah, so it looks like he's pushed those Plague Monks up, and now he's knocking terrain over. Now he's looking at ranges probably from the Storm Fiends. So whether or not he's going to be able to shoot with anything this turn, or whether he's going to move them up and look like he's going to shoot that top middle unit.
Yep.
I'm not 100% sure. So he's just doing some measuring.
So probably be shooting obviously with the wind launchers as well as the rattling guns. So yeah, I'm just going to double check ranges there, just to double check what's happening. He's rolling some dice, so I'd say they're probably going to be in range.
Yep.
But let's see. Oh, geez, he's having a bit of a ripper turn, to be honest, eh?
He is having a ripper turn. So they are shooting the screening unit of boys.
The poor boys.
So the poor boys are getting shot at. I'm not sure how well they're going to weather the storm.
So the rattling cannons have a range of 12, so probably not going to be in range this turn. The wind launchers are 24, so plenty of range there. The wind launchers are actually pretty brutal, actually. So 24-inch range, 3 attacks, force to hit, force to wound, Ren 3 for D3. So realistically, he'll be going straight through those boys' saves, and he'll be going straight through to damage. So I wouldn't be surprised, whole unit, looks like the whole unit's pretty much gone there. If there is anything left, realistically, probably going to run from Battle Shock as well. So
that's correct. Yeah, it just depends on how many CPs they've started with, and if Dino decides to use any to hopefully save those guys if he needs to.
Yeah, so Dino obviously has Scragrot as well as his Fungoid Cave Shaman, so realistically he's probably going to have quite a few CP built up straight away. So, I don't think Dino's going to be looking for CP at all.
No, I think he's got enough tools there to be able to have them for the rest of the game, probably multiple times.
But we'll see if there's enough tools to be able to... If there's enough tools to be able to deal with this onslaught. hopefully Paris's luck isn't sort of peaking too early though.
No, well, we'll see. So this early, like we said, it's only the first turn.
Obviously, the Vermin Lord, Lord Screech, is in combat as well. Let's have a look at his profile just to double check. I think he's not bad in combat from memory.
I think Lord Screech is not too bad in combat, so he's basically gone in there and. So he only had to make a 3-inch charge. That's pretty easy.
That's right. He did get quite up close. So he's got his Doomglaive. Lord Screech, Doomglaive is 6 attacks, 3s and 3s, Ren 1 for D3 damage, so that's quite good. He's also got his Plague Reaper as well, which is 8 attacks, 3s and 3s, Ren 1 for 1. So Screech definitely seems like more of like a chaff killer, sort of like a small body like chaff clearing, light infantry, light cavalry, all that sort of stuff, or just wipe off a hero that's sort of out of position.
Definitely. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes because he's into a unit of bounders now. So they've got 2 wounds each, I believe.
Yes.
So I wouldn't exactly call them just like a chaff unit as such. They're multi-wounds.
It's still like a good target.
It's still a good target, but a little bit harder for him to get through considering they've got 2 wounds each.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it looks like they're now piling into Lord Screech himself. So we'll see whether Lord Screech ends up getting any wounds taken from these bounders.
Absolutely. Let's see what transpires.
Yeah, the free Vermin Lord.
Absolutely, that's crazy. Like they needed it. But anyway, that's okay. Jumping into chat. Just a bit of chat between Ham and Wes. Good to see. Good to see some good hobby happening. Wes doing some more commission projects because Wes is a really nice dude who helps out a lot of people on the painting side of things. Give us a yell what your painting page is called, Wes, in the chat. I'm sure some people would love to see what you've been doing. Just finished a army for Big Body Horton, who's playing here today for a beautiful yellow schemed Ironjaw's army. So just in time for the new book. Other than that, not a huge amount happening. Let us know, chat, who you are, where you're from, where you're watching from. If you're doing any hobby, what are you working on? And let us know what's crapping. Let us know what's happening today.
Okay, so rightio. So unfortunately, Battleshock phase, Dino has rolled a 6
for
those bounders, because Lord Screech gives a -1 off as well.
Oh no!
So I'm pretty sure he just lost 4 bounders out of that unit just from Battleshock.
That's rough.
So not great.
Not a great start for the destruction.
Yeah, definitely he can do some damage still.
Yeah, Destro's got some moves, so
I think he's rolling now to see whether the 2 heroes, so Scragrot and the little Fungoid Cave Shaman, give him some command points. So unfortunately he did roll only 4-ups and hasn't managed to get any extra CP with those 2 fellas.
Dino's not having a good run.
So his dice are not liking him the most at the moment. So I believe that'll just give him the 1 CP, because I don't think he's bought anything. No. So just with 1. So they got 1 each for now.
Yeah, 1980 points, so hasn't bought a CP, but would have that triumph still.
Yeah, so it looks like he's moving. This must be the big unit of Ogres, I think, moving forward.
Yeah, I believe
they're in bigger bases to me. So
so they're not the actual Ogre model. So one cool thing about Dino's army is that Dino has been playing Destruction for a super long time. So he's got original metal ogres from previous editions. Really cool to see some older models painted really, really nicely. Like everything in Dino's army is painted really well. Dino's wife is from Japan, so he has a lot of sort of rising sun iconography and a lot of like Japanese themes all throughout his army. One of Dean's tables that he has at Brishammer is actually like I'm not sure what they're called, but they're like sort of Japanese gates, and he's incorporated them into some Wildwood bases. So they look really, really cool. So really nice looking army.
No, yeah, it is a beautiful looking army. He definitely has a wonderful way to paint. So he has actually cast the Skaventide as well, so it's on the table.
Yep.
There was a destruction move that was done by the Orcs, but unfortunately they were within 3 inches, so they couldn't actually move. So the Skaventide is out on the table. We're seeing if it does any wounds, so it looks like it's those 3 clan rats getting, I think one of them just got
4.
mortal wounded.
Yeah, it was two bounders, so it'd be 4 clan rats, so obviously 2 have died.
Yep.
Out in the middle of nowhere, I don't think it's really worth spending any CP to keep them around.
God, no. I will just let them go.
Absolutely. So obviously the scoring system won't really be necessary in this game, as we know from a major victory is achieved in this scenario from the 3rd battle round. If you control both of the objectives, you gain a major victory. So if we're not filling out the scorecard, that's why. Well, it's not necessary, unfortunately, in this one. So basically, yeah, from the 3rd battle round, if you control both of those territory or both of those objectives, that's game. So one thing to consider there is an interesting thing that people sometimes forget is that if you are controlling both objectives on the end of turn 2 and you win priority, you could potentially win that game without having to do anything. So interesting thing there.
No worries. So the Moon Endless spell has been cast as well. So
the Malevolent
Moon has entered. He will be getting put. He looks like he's trying to point somewhere around near those plague monks.
Very cool. So great to see that because that'll provide some problems for the Skaven casting as well as buffing the casting for Skragrod and the Fungal Cave Shaman as well. So it's a great spell, really good spell, super cheap. It's only 40 points and I think it adds quite a lot of depth to Gits. Just shooting over to the chat, Horace's painting desk on Facebook is Wes's painting channel. Go give him a like. Shout out Wes, definitely a great painter, really good personality in the hobby. He's also working on some Fire Slayers and painting Gotrek as we speak. So I've seen some early stages of those. They're looking really, really good. Doing some blue hair on Wes's Fire Slayers. And we've also got Aussie Admiral Tim. Hey guys, I'm watching out near Boona and I'm painting a KO frigate right now. Very cool. KO. They're brutal. Frigates are pretty cool. Looking at the points decreases and everything, there's you can definitely fit a lot of interesting stuff. Listening to Facehammer, I remember Russ Veal was talking about some ideas that he had, and I think it was a list with 3 frigates. It had 3 of everything basically. So
just the 3s.
Yeah,
just 3s of things.
Just a triad of everything. So
yeah. So it looks like in his hero phase, he obviously got destruction moves and move forward. So now they are moving again in the movement phase.
Yep.
And it looks like the ogres in the middle of the table there have decided to come up. So they don't look like they're too far away from the plague monks. So they might be looking to take that unit out.
With Death Frenzy though, it's a bit scary.
It is a little bit scary, but unfortunately it's going to happen at some stage, whether he gets charged by them or he can try and charge them, I'm not sure.
Or could he be going potentially for the Storm Vermin? That could be a possibility as well.
The Storm Vermin? He could potentially be going for the Storm Vermin.
That's the only horrible thing about Plague Monks is that you do have to deal with them, and unfortunately when you've only got a melee in your arsenal, it's a little bit difficult to try and deal with that as well. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So we'll see how things go. And pray for Dino.
Pray for Dino. So we also have the Thunder Tusk that we've forgotten about, has done 6 mortal wounds to the Screech.
Lord Screech, yeah, absolutely.
Lord Screech, and he did not make any after saves.
Oh.
So he's just taken straight up
just 6
mortal wounds.
6
and
to the face.
Skragrot has also done some damage to him, so he has done 3.
The shooting attack, which is probably going to do 1 mortal wound every turn after as well. So.
That's correct, yeah.
Oof. His days are numbered, I feel.
Oh, it's getting... he might be free, but he's done his job though. He's been a pain in the ass for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. He's wiped some screen out. He's provided some clan rats. He's done quite a bit actually. So Oh, I'm so scared. So obviously the ogres have made the charge into the plague monks. So let's see what transpires here. Oh, geez, this is terrifying.
So you probably want to be going with that combat first, I feel, before the plague monks.
Yeah, definitely. So Dino got into range of the Skaventide, so he needs to roll to see if he's been taking any damage there. So I'm not sure what sort of happened here, but obviously it looks like he hasn't rolled any 6s. So the ogres are piling in. Ogres are actually pretty surprising. They're quite choppy, which kind of makes me scared as to what they're going to be with the new More Tribes book. So yeah, they could be a terrifying, absolutely terrifying unit to try and deal with. So
yeah, so the ogres, obviously, since they piled in, they're now going to be attacking those plague monks. I think they have either 3 or 4 attacks each. So they're going to be doing some hurt, I feel. I don't think plague monks get a save, but they do have the death frenzy on them, so whichever ones do die get to pile in and attack.
Correct. Obviously, yeah, that's quite a terrifying proposition, to be honest.
It is. You got to risk it for the biscuit, though, Josh. You got to risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things. If you can sort of achieve good trades, it's probably not a terrible thing, and you have to deal with that unit at some stage. So, just for people, so people are aware, ogres have a 1-inch range, 3 attacks, 4s and 3s for 2 damage each. So, a unit of 12 is punching out 36 attacks. Half of those should hit, so you're probably looking at about 17. And then a third of those will go away. So you're probably looking at about 7-ish. 7-ish should be wounding. They don't have a save, so it should be 14. So it should be like a decent chunk of that plague rat.
It's like a third of the...
Yeah.
A third of the unit, basically.
Should be taking a decent chunk out. So it'll be interesting to see whether Paris is deciding to use his death gong or if he's going to use everything else. So I would imagine he probably wants to potentially do it in his combat phase, potentially. I guess it just depends on how much dies and how much is still there, I guess. So.
Yeah. So it looks like he's done some wounds. So the ogres have done 22 wounds before saves.
Holy crap.
So I'm pretty sure the Paris is getting the dice out now to attack with. And that'll be 2 damage each.
Holy crap. So he could potentially wipe this unit here.
Wipe out the unit here.
That's like... I don't know if that's like a good trade or a terrible trade. I'm just sort of wondering what's going to deal with the unit of Stormfiends if those ogres are dead. That's sort of what I'm wondering. So.
Yeah, that is a good question, actually. I know they're sort of a little bit hidden from around that piece of terrain from the view that we have here, but the Stormfiends, I think, can still get to them if Paris wins the next turn.
So, yeah. Big unit of 9, obviously still here, but you got to remember as well. Like you've got the little unit of Storm Vermin, which could potentially just make a sneaky little move into this area. Between Storm Vermin and ogres, boys, Auric boys. I'm not really sure which one would win that fight, to be honest. So it's lots to think about.
Maybe it might happen. Maybe. So we'll have to see how he goes here. I don't know whether he's going to utilise using the gnaw holes at all or anything like that.
Yeah, well, it's 6 inches, so he could potentially move some stuff near it. I'm just sort of looking at positioning of different things as well. So he's obviously got 1 gnaw hole here, 1 gnaw hole here. So I'm just not sure, unless Screech teleports himself to sort of the rear one, I'm not really sure if anything's really in a good position in order to do that. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. We'll go from there.
I have some information from some other tables. So Hayden Walker, a friend of ours, is playing like a Slaves to Darkness Slanesh army. And his knights, I think he's got a unit of 10.
Unit 10 knights,
just went into Durthu and killed him straight up.
Oh, geez.
So that's taken a bit of a hammer out of the old Sylvaneth army.
Absolutely. Durthu is a beast.
Yep. So,
but not when he's dead.
Nope, not when he's dead.
When he's a pile of balsa wood, he can't do too many 6 damage attacks, unfortunately. So that's basically what's happening here. Looking at the other tables, it looks like we've got another thematic Khorne versus Slanesh. We've got Death versus Daughters of Cain. Looks like we've got Daughters of Cain, and what else have we got? Some Nurgle. We've got Flesh Eater Courts versus Idoneth. We've also got... Yeah, we've got a lot happening here, hey? Idoneth versus Khorne. So all the eels versus the big Khorne dragon. We've got Stormcast versus Darkling Covens. Another Khorne on Khorne. So James Lynch and Alan Backman giving each other a bit of a fight at the moment. Yeah, there's a lot happening.
There is a lot happening. It's pretty exciting, actually. There's some pretty interesting things that are happening on the table. So, the tables, I should say. So hopefully we can get some updates throughout the other tables. I think Paris is still rolling the Plague Monk shenanigans out.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Probably one of the most interesting war scrolls in the game, potentially. Lots of bookwork, lots of things to try and remember there. Jumping over to the chat just while Paris is sorting out all these attacks. Wes is asking, Celeste doing well, Colour Me Shocked. Hey, who would have thought? Who would have thought? I haven't had a look at down under pairings recently, but there's definitely a bit of Slaanesh sort of on that upper end. Curry seems to be doing okay. He was on 2 major wins prior to round 3, and he's up against Stormcast at the moment, so potentially some potential there for Curry to keep doing well, maybe jump on and potentially do well in this event.
Yeah, definitely. He always seems to do pretty good at all the tournaments he goes to.
Absolutely, great player.
So we'll have to keep an eye on that as well.
Well deserved to be the back-to-back master 2 years in a row, so yeah, doing well.
Yeah, maybe get the trifecta this year. Excuse me, still dying from this flu. So Paris is still rolling dice. I love how Plague Monks just keep going and going and going and going.
It's a little bit crazy, and just to think this is just what's died, so he still needs to attack still. So
yeah, unless he's picked that combat afterwards and there's doing it.
I'm not sure. But looking at the time, we've got about an hour and a half left in the round. Jumping back to the chat, yes, that is your son, Wes. It's good to see such a supportive father. Also, chat, let us know what's going on. What are you guys doing? Who have we got in the chat? Love to know what everyone's doing. What are you guys up to? What's on tonight? So, people partying, people hobbying. What's going on? Talk to me. I need to know. Looking back at the table, it looks like we've got Dino doing some save rolls here. We've got at least 1. We've got 2. And so we've done a few wounds to the big unit of Ogors there. So that could have been worse. Definitely could have been worse. They've got 4 wounds each, so it's done 8 to 10 damage there. So not quite enough to kill 3, so we'll see what cracks there. Ham, dinner break. I can hear my nice voice again. You're welcome. You are so welcome. How is the levels, guys? Are we quiet? Are we loud? Or are we at a good volume? Is the stream buffering okay? Is it nice and clear? Any feedback from our end, just let us know, guys.
Awesome. So just like some actual damage and wounds, I'm pretty sure the ogres did 38 damage to the monks. So we should only have 2 left out of that unit, and they were just doing their damage back.
Wow, so that's the Plague Monks gone.
Yeah.
Failed Battle Shock 38. So
that's a big unit gone, which is quite good.
That is a massive trade.
Yeah, it is. Now he's just got to worry about the 9 Stormfiends, so that's a solid unit still there.
That is a bloody great trade, not going to lie. That is amazing.
Yeah. So we will see how Dino can try and deal with those Stormfiends over the next couple of turns.
Yeah.
I'm trying to read the table now and make a plan in my head of what I think he might do. Because that's a big unit that he's going to have to try and deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. But I guess it's one of those things, though, if the ogres can do that again, like potentially around 35 damage, like that's pretty much that unit done and dusted, basically. Yeah. Like you will have probably 3 or 4 left, but 3 or 4 is a lot more. You can deal with 3 or 4 versus 9.
Oh, definitely. So. Especially if that Thunder Tusk gets involved in like snowballs and
absolutely, yeah.
Yes, so they don't get a mortal wound save, obviously.
Correct. Picking off a cheeky Stormfiend, that unit could be gone pretty quick. Other than that, well, this is going to be a good game.
This is going to be a good game, and obviously we have to take into account too that he has lost some ogres as well. So unless he rolls off tap, with those guys if they do go into the Storm Fiends. Looks like there's only about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And the Vermin Lord has survived on 1 wound.
Oh, wow.
He has 1 wound remaining. So I don't... his spell will still be really good, but his profile's dropped a fair bit.
Yeah, so obviously probably not going to be hitting as hard, but naturally, like, that's got to hurt a little bit, surely.
Yeah, I would sort of come to the conclusion that next turn he is not going to be there anymore.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. So Josh is still rolling some dice. I feel like we're just watching a game of Josh rolling dice.
Yeah,
Paris
that's definitely been a bit of that happening, so which is fine. But yeah, we'll...
It's like deja vu over and over again. Groundhog Day. Let's roll some dice.
Yeah. Well, it's what you got to do. You got to be comfortable with rolling dice if you're going to run Plague Monks and everything like that. So.
Imagine like people who have got lists that have got 2 units of 40 or 3 units of 40. Like that's a hard slog.
Absolutely.
You have to come up with a way to be able to roll those dice proficiently. Otherwise, you're going to be never getting your games finished.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's one of those things where it sort of comes into game etiquette. In regards to being considerate to your opponent to the point of, like, if you're not going to be able to finish your game, that's probably not great Warhammer. So, yeah, like for all your people playing Hordes, definitely consider that. Are you getting through your games? And, I remember listening to the Notorious podcast from New Zealand. They were talking about, Tubbs was talking about how he was playing Horde Gits and he was just finishing his games and he's adjusting his list in order to change that. So some good self-awareness there, and definitely encourage other people to have a bit of self-awareness with their games as well. It is important that your opponent has fun as well, because
definitely
at the end of the day, like when we think about it, we're all spending large amounts of money, our time, our effort. Like, you want to have a good time.
Oh yeah. So priority roll has just been made. So Paris rolled a 6 and Dino rolled a 1. So Paris has decided to take the turn. So.
Oh, or is he giving it away to Dino? What's going on here?
No, definitely. He just told our table boss he's taking it.
So
I'm wondering why they're rolling so many dice.
Probably doing some spells, I would imagine.
I'd say so. And also probably doing, like, the next hero phase, taking D3 mortal wounds and stuff as well.
That is true, yeah, absolutely. So that Bombardier should be taking D3 mortal wounds. So if he wants to use his Vigorous Injector, which I would imagine he probably will be, to +1 to hit, +1 to charge, and probably using his more warp power to reroll hits and wounds just to fully buff up that unit of Storm Fiends, probably killing him. But realistically, those Storm Fiends need to wipe out some threats, I feel. So.
Definitely. So they're basically they're there now to do the work since the Plague Monks are gone. The Storm Vermin are still quite good though. I wouldn't knock them too much, and the Plague Sense is a lot better than what it used to be, but it's going to be slow, as I don't even know whether it can move now. It's got nothing to push it.
Yeah, actually, I did not even think about that.
So I'm pretty sure now the rules have changed, and if they don't have any models around it, they can't actually move.
It's either that or it moves 4 inches, like very, very, not very much. So
yeah, so they're really slow at the moment.
So it's got a 6-inch move at its full characteristic, but obviously that gets buffed up from what I understand when you've got pushed into battle. So if anyone's wondering, the wheeled carriage that supports the Plague Furnace must be pushed into battle by teaming scores hordes of Skaven. This model cannot move unless it starts moving within 6 inches of 10 or more. Okay, so it is stuck there.
It is stuck there.
Oh wow.
So that's pretty good.
That's good for...
wiping out those Plague Monks has done more than just one job.
Absolutely. Well, I was not aware of that, so excuse me, chat. My apologies there. But that's amazing. Like, that's got to be... Dino's got to be happy about that. I'm not sure if he's aware that that's the case or not, but...
I'm not sure, but he's basically just got a little blessing in disguise there.
Absolutely. 2 for 1.
Yeah. So he Paris got a Vermin Lord in the first turn, and now he's prevented the sensor from moving at all.
Absolutely.
Unless he can get some rats over there to push it.
Because the Plague Furnace is 200 points as well, so that's 200 points just sitting there looking pretty.
Yeah. So more and more war powers on the Storm Fiends again.
As we guessed.
Yep, as we guessed, so that's pretty good. I'm just wondering if that is a unit of rats down behind that sensor there, to the left of it, at the back, and whether they are within 6 inches of it. So it still might be able to move.
Yeah, that's probably the other unit of storm vermin. So we've got one up the top, up here, and we've also got the unit sort of in this sort of general area as well. So obviously he's going to move those over to here to push some stuff. I'm really interested to see what happens with this unit up the top here, sort of what happens with that. Obviously the clan rats sort of in this sort of general vicinity, they're going to have to obviously babysit that objective, whether he sort of pushes them out to create a bit of a screen and keep them well out of range. I'm not sure, but I guess we'll see. I guess Dino might be wishing he had Hand of Gork at the moment to teleport some stuff in those back lines, but...
yeah, that probably would be very handy.
Yeah.
So...
But we'll see how the turn transpires. So.
All right. So if you're wondering why the Vermin Lord just got taken off the table, is because he was damaged by Scrogot. So at the end of the turn, he takes a wound. So
that's
that
right.
one wound he had remaining has now gone, and he didn't save it. So
start of each turn.
he is now
go.
gone.
Yeah.
So yep. Yes.
Very, very good.
Yep. So looks like those sensors are going into the ogres there. So he's managed to push them up because obviously those rats were close enough, because he had that unit sort of behind them, and then there was another unit, the Storm Vermin, on the left of the other.
That's a bit of a terrifying prospect for these poor ogres. So I think they're going to get like sort of triple teamed by a Screaming Bell, a Plague Furnace, potentially some Storm Vermin and some Storm Fiends. So, oh geez, it's not looking good.
No, and he's moving the clan rats back. I'm not really sure what he's going to do with them, other than just probably just be a nuisance of blocking or something, because there's only 3 of them there, so they're not really doing too much.
I guess
probably just making way for either the Plague Sensor to get there.
Yeah,
if
make
they
some
charge.
room. Make some room. Obviously, moving away from the Skaventide, they need to do their rolls to see if any die. Looks like one's been taken off. I guess if it was me, I'd be potentially pushing them sort of up in this area over here to try and block off a bit of the table and potentially stop some of Dino's army sort of in this area from pushing up. But yeah, we'll see what Paris does with it. So
yeah, so as you can see, he's moving up the Storm Fiends now. So I think he's probably looking to shoot up the top there, and maybe get him. They still look like they need a large charge.
Yeah, so it's 12-inch range on the rattling guns, and your 24-inch range on the wind mortars as well. So yeah, brutal.
Holy dooly! I nearly spat my drink out because I just looked over and Mark. Can you see him? Yeah, so Mark has actually shaved his head and shaved his beard. So I'm sorry for everyone out there that hasn't seen him in a while, but this morning he come in, watched a couple of games, and he had like a Moses beard and like long curly hair.
So Mark, essentially, if it wasn't for the fact that he had access to a shower and clean clothes, you would think that he's probably homeless, to be honest.
To be honest, yes.
So at the moment, it's looking like, Mark's back to his normal self. Shaved hair, clean shaven.
Yeah, he must have been starting to get a bit hot.
Yeah, it's pretty warm. I think that's fair. So I don't. If anyone doesn't know, I actually don't have any hair, and it's quite good in the summertime because you don't have to. Worry
We need a pic.
Stuff.
We'll have to try and get a sneaky pic. If he walks past here, we'll get a sneaky pic. I don't know how we're going to put it up there.
Jumping back into chat, when's the after party and where? No idea. I don't think anyone has even discussed any of that at the moment. The terrain needs to be glued. Maybe. But at the same time, you don't have the ability to change things around if it's all glued. So, lucky I have a big penis. Thank you, Wes. So, yeah, that's true. More trash power. I guess so. Skaven do like their rubbish. But yeah, we're getting there. So Paris is obviously doing
He's
shooting.
He's doing some shooting. So the longer range Storm Fiends are shooting into the Butcher, I believe, because they got a 24-inch range.
Yep. So
and the short range are shooting into the Ogres.
Rattlings. So Rattlings are 3d6 shots each. And he has 3, so that's 9d6 that he'll be shooting into those poor Ogres.
Oh man, those Storm Fiends need to go. they need to go.
Yeah, well, it's, Corey, who was on the stream earlier for the impromptu interviews, was talking about, I would imagine his competitive nature would probably be involved with a lot of different chats, talking about how 9 Storm theme seems to be a bit of a trend that's starting to emerge, so rightfully so. That's like 50-something wounds, the ability of lots of great weapon options. Obviously very different to pop-up scry from back in the day, but yeah, we'll see. Looks like we've got all the saves from the Rattling guns. There's a lot.
14, I believe.
Oh, jeez.
14 saves have to be made on those ogres.
Oh, jeez.
And if they have any rend, they're going to be like 6-ups, because I'm pretty sure ogres have a 5-up normally.
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but we can definitely double check. But yeah, that's quite terrifying, to be honest, hey? So.
Yeah. And he's taken his 26 lookout sir saves on the butcher.
Oh, ouch.
Well, they would have been neg 1.
So the ogres are deleted. Obviously done plenty of damage. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So the butcher should have been neg 1 to hit too, realistically, if he was getting
it depends,
where he
because Vigor Dust Injector will give him +1 to hit.
So probably not.
And the more war power will reroll your hits. So he probably
So it would have been the same.
Yeah, they probably didn't have much of a chance to, and reroll wounds as well. So yeah, probably didn't have a huge amount of ability to deal with that, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately not. That's a lot of shots.
A lot of shots and a lot of rerolls and a lot of damage. So
yeah, and you can afford to do that with those guys because you have got so many wounds on those guys. Taking D3 mortal wounds at the next hero phase is not a big deal for what that does.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's okay. That's life.
Yeah. So it has freed up a lot of that board over there.
Yeah, definitely interesting. Yeah, I think yeah, it might be in a little bit of trouble at the moment, but yeah, we'll see how things go.
So unfortunately the butcher has gone down, and so did that unit of ogres. So we were right in guessing that they probably weren't going to be able to live through that many shots.
Yeah, that's it is tough, unfortunately. So it is what it is, unfortunately. Yeah. So we've noticed that we're getting a little bit of sort of the focus dropping in and out. I'd say that probably has a little bit to do with the light. That sort of the sun's sort of starting to go down. The building that we're in is sort of east-west facing, so yeah, we're going to have a little bit more light on one side of the table than the other. But yeah, if you guys can deal with that, that would be very much appreciated.
Oh God!
Any updates from the table, Jelly?
There is, yeah. So Dino has just worked out a plan of how he's going to win the game, he reckons.
Yes.
And he's just failed all his 4-ups from Scragrot and the Shaman to get his command points. So he's just on 2 at the moment because we've just started his turn. So unfortunately, those guys are worn out from the turn before.
Yep.
They can't even muster up a command point for their army.
No.
So.
Well, actually, you know how we were talking about how Dino doesn't really have an answer to those Storm Fiends anymore? I completely forgot about the Tyrant.
Yeah, so the Tyrant's still there. He can definitely do an amazing amount of damage, actually.
Absolutely. So 3 damage a pop, so he could potentially be killing, depending on how many 5s and 6s he rolls, he could be killing like potentially 2 to 4 Storm Fiends, depending on how well he rolls.
I would love to see that. I would really love to see that, because every Tyrant I've ever versed has just basically butchered anything that has come in contact with. It's just blown it away, and it's like, oh yeah, that's just like an ogre, hero, whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
Just take it off.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely gets slept on a fair bit, the old Tyrant, so...
Yeah, definitely. So, it looks...
Yeah, just going back to chat, yeah, definitely Ham. It's obviously
yeah, so he's definitely recast that Skaventide, yes. Yeah, so we are having a few little focus issues. It must be on autofocus, so we'll just have to have a look at that after this game and see whether we can just change that for you. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's definitely it makes sense because it'd be such a dark background and some lighter skin from our players is obviously that's what's happening. But yeah, if everyone can deal with that, that would be very much appreciated. Okay, cool. And yeah, chat, let us know. Who are you? Who's in the chat? Where are you from? What are we working on? What are we doing while we're watching this stream? Let us know. We had some viewers from America earlier in the day. We had some viewers from the UK, Canada. We also had people from, obviously, Australia down in Sydney. We also had people from Toowoomba as well. So we have people sort of from here, there and everywhere. So yeah, I'd love to know who you are, where you're from. Say hello, keep us company in our third game of the Toowoomba Open 2019. So get in touch. Love to talk to people. I'm lonely with Gemma.
Yeah, I'm not good enough.
That's not what I meant, but...
I'm not man enough for Josh. Okay, so I think in the hero phase he must have just done some destruction moves, and now it looks like he's actually doing some movement by the looks.
Absolutely.
So those bounders look like they got a fairly good movement.
Yeah, absolutely.
From their 2d6, I believe, or was it 2 or 3?
I'm not sure. We'll double
I think
check
it might
that
be
though.
2.
I would imagine it would be 2.
Yeah, I think it's 2, and then like the big guys get 3, I think. Ooh, the Thunder Tusk is moving in range to hopefully do some snowballing.
Yeah, so 2d6.
2d6, right. So he looks like he's going to snowball either, he could snowball, he's got 2 choices, the Screaming Bell or the Plague Furnace.
Yep.
But and he's also done sort of, we've seen this now a couple of times between this game and the game before, using a endless spell as sort of like a blocking tool.
Absolutely.
So he's done that in front of the Storm Fiends there, as you can see.
Yep.
And it's made them like a little bit of a nuisance to try and get around. So he probably will lose, at least with a couple of those Storm Fiends, a good 2 inches or so.
Yep.
Off their movement.
Well, it just means that the back 2 are probably going to be the ones that can sort of do the movement here. So these 2 here can obviously start moving, but you got to remember as well that the Skaventide, whenever they move near that, they will need to take the test as well to see if they take any damage. So there could be some potential chip damage for that whole unit to get the whole way around. It's probably going to be like a turn or 2 worth of chip damage. Depending on who wins the turn as well, that can be moved also. So, yeah, it's a good positioning by Dino, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And basically, what has happened is we were right. The Thunder Tusk did like a snowball attack and did 6 mortal wounds. I think it was to the Plague Furnace.
Oh, okay.
Off the top of my head. Michael did tell me, but unfortunately, I didn't write it down. So, whichever one is on the left-hand side there, right-hand side is taking the wounds.
I think that's the Screaming Bell.
Oh, Screaming Bell. Sorry, everybody.
I think that's probably a good move as well, considering that the Screaming Bell provides some immune to battle shock abilities as well. So
yeah, definitely.
But it is what it is. So, but yeah, guys.
He didn't pass any of his after saves with the Screaming Bell either.
Oh, jeez.
So,
okay, because that's a 5-up from memory?
Yeah, so he's taken 6 mortal wounds directly.
Oh, wow. Okay. That hurts. That hurts, but that's what happens sometimes, you know? So.
Okay, so they've already done priority, and Paris 1 priority and he's taken the turn.
Oh, jeez.
So that was quick.
Absolutely. Quick turn.
Quick turn.
So Paris will be up to 3 CP, I believe.
Yep.
Might just get that fact check just to make sure.
So he'll have 3 CP now. Awesome. So it'd be interesting to see how he manoeuvres those Storm Fiends around the table now that they are being sort of prevented with that Skaventide.
Just jumping into the chat. You guys doing a great job. Can't be easy. You have made my day. Feel like I'm there. Thank you, Mr. Ham.
Okay.
It's a shame you couldn't be here yourself. But yeah, really appreciate you keeping us company on the stream. Yeah, obviously first time doing the stream, so there's probably going to be little things that we can obviously improve on. So we're always happy to get some feedback from people. Let us know your thoughts, things we can improve on, things we can do better. Naturally, we'll try and work on the focus and a few other little bits and bobs here. But yeah, like the things that are in our control, we'll do our best to sort of to make better. obviously the dream would definitely be to get to honest wargamer territory with some articulating cameras and some other bits and bobs and zoom functions and other cool stuff like that. But hey, you got to start somewhere, and we're having a great time. So.
Definitely. So basically, what has happened here is he's dispelled, because you have to do that first, dispelling the Skaventide.
Oh no!
So they have just discovered that he was able to do that, but he wasn't able to do the moon. Interestingly enough.
Okay.
So
interesting.
He's managed to free up the Storm Fiend's movement a little bit.
Yep.
So we'll see what he does with that.
Absolutely.
And he's also failed more and more warp power, and he had to eat a stone to re-roll it.
Oh, yep. So Warpstone charge, yep.
Yep.
Or Warpstone token, I should say.
Yeah, token. So, having to use one of those guys to buff him up, which is good.
Absolutely.
And it looks like because of that, the D3 wounds from the last one, it's actually killed a Storm Fiend.
Oh, wow.
So he's down to 8. Still got 8.
Still one less, so I'm sure Dino's pretty happy about that. I'll be interested to know which one he took, whether he took a Poison Wind Mortar or whether he took a Rattling or he took a Shock Gauntlet. I would imagine probably a Shock Gauntlet. But
yeah, I'd have to see which Storm Fiend that died just then, what weaponry it was laid out with. And unfortunately, we have lost sort of... I'll just find out for you. So we're just going to find out which Storm Fiend unfortunately died from the mortal wounds there, what its layout was. It was a close combat one.
Shock Gauntlet, yep.
So that's a smart move sort of thing, because you probably, at the moment, he's not going to be getting in combat.
Could potentially, but I think the damage from the other stuff.
The damage from the other stuff is better at the moment, just because of where he's positioned on the table.
Yeah, especially if he's using more warp power, and if he's using the bigger dust injector as well. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it certainly does. So he's moved them up. Whether or not he can, I think they look like they're a bit more than 12 inches away from anything at the moment, but shooting's definitely going to cause some trouble for Dino, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely shooting's going to hurt, but potentially could have been more hurt if they were able to sort of do what they want. But in saying that though, that might help Dino, like losing some boys from the front of that unit will open up that Tyrant to be able to come out and start laying some hurt. I'm really interested to see if this Thunder Tusk can blow up some Skaven contraptions, whether that's going to run straight into that Screaming Bell or what's going to happen there.
Yeah, exactly. So since the Screaming Bell's already taken some wounds, it's probably...
I think Dino's still in a good spot, hey?
He's still in a good spot. I think if he can do another 6 mortal wounds, that fella, and probably do some get some combat involved there, he can potentially take one off pretty easily.
Absolutely.
Since I think they've got either 12 or 13 wounds, the Screaming Bell.
I think it's around
2 rounds from the Thunder Tusk can potentially just about take one off.
Pretty much, yeah, absolutely.
If it doesn't happen, if there is no after saves made.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think, so just jumping into the chat, LLV said Dino is Nathan Prescott 2.0. I would even say that Nath and Dino are probably the founding fathers of destruction, I think.
Yes, definitely. I'm putting it out there.
I don't think that there's any predecessor or before or after any Alpha or Omega or anything like that. I simply think that they're both cornerstones in the destruction community, that's for sure.
Definitely. So. Whenever you just hear the word destruction, those two are the first people that come into your head. Or they should be. So.
Absolutely. So jumping into the chat, the Dreadwords, another Warhammer stream to follow. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Wes seems to think that Nathan and Dino are brothers. Look, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. So if they are, that's completely understandable. Wouldn't be shocked at all. Looking at the time as well, we've got just a bit over an hour left in the round. We did start a little bit later, so probably about an hour and 15 minutes left in the round at the moment.
Yeah, I think we're looking at about a 5 to 10 past 6 sort of finish here in Australia.
Eastern Standard Time. So, the Dreadwoods, who are you? Where are you from? Tell us all about it. Love to know who you are, where you're from, and what you're working on at the moment. Potentially some Sylvaneth, I'm guessing, from the name. But yeah, I'd love to hear more about you, and love to know who you are. Anyone else in the chat? Let us know as well who you are, where you're from, what you're working on, what's happening this weekend. Love to hear from you guys as well. Guys and gals, and just people in general if you're non-binary, so whatever works.
Yeah. So
Updates
it
from
looks
17,
like
yeah.
it looks like he's trying to do some. He's measuring out and seeing how far he has to charge, I think, or if they do a shooting attack. I'm just trying to find out some information. Sorry, fellas. I think well, if the Storm Fiends haven't shot yet, we would be doing the shooting phase. So the Plague Sensor, its abilities have changed recently with the book.
Yes.
It's a lot better, in my opinion,
Sure.
than what it was. So we'll see whether it can do some mortal wounds to anything around. And looks like Dino's trying to roll some saves.
Yeah, I think
And
it
they
could be
both are actually interesting. They have both failed their charges, so I'm wondering if
this
he
could be
had to
opening
run the
things up.
Storm Fiends because I haven't had an update of them shooting.
Yeah. Also, I've
Okay.
noticed as well that Paris has forgotten to move his Storm Fiends, whether that's an intentional move or not, but I feel like that might have been something that he's forgotten to do.
Yeah, I think so as well. So the Storm Fiends did shoot, but they did barely any damage. They killed 4 boys.
Oh, wow.
That was about it.
Wow, that's...
So the running guns were out of range, and so he was just relying on the other shooting ones for 24-inch range.
Yep.
That I forgot the name of because
The
I'm silly.
Wind Mortars.
Wind Mortars, sorry. They barely did anything. So.
Yeah, wow.
And then the Plague Furnace and the Screaming Bell both failed their charge.
Wow. So obviously jumping into Dino's turn, can Dino get a little bit better with his rolling 4-ups to get some more CP? Let's find out. Jumping into chat while we're waiting for some updates. LLV, so literally no one is rooting for Skaven, right, except for maybe Rob Symes if he was here because he has to. Yeah, fair enough. Ham is definitely jumping on board with the Skaven hate. LLV, contractually obligated. Yeah, sometimes life is about obligations, unfortunately. Weird Person 1234, I mean, how can you root against Paris? Yeah, true. Paris is a really nice guy, so I'm definitely torn personally. LLV, yeah, definitely. We've got a Rob emoji, we've got a Duncan emoji, and we've got some Jets, so...
I love it.
Ham, yeah, really nice dude. Yeah, Paris, it's a confliction because Paris is definitely a really nice guy, so definitely conflicted there, that's for sure. LLV, I'm not actually understanding the blue reference. I'm guessing that's probably like player 1 versus player 2 kind of thing. I'm guessing that Dino is probably in the blue corner, but fill me in. Weird Person, back to work for me. We'll have to watch this later on. Good work, guys. Thanks, Weird Person.
Thank
really
you,
appreciate
Weird Person,
that.
for watching.
Yeah, thanks for popping in. Hopefully you got some time. We'll get you back on tomorrow. Would love to have you back. But yeah, man, good luck at work. Hopefully it's painless as possible for you and it goes as quick as possible too. But yeah, man, thanks heaps.
So I have some table updates from a couple of the other tables around. So there is a game going on in front of us where it's Daughters of Cain versing a Death army. So, and it's got... I'm pretty sure it has Nephi in it.
Yeah, it's got Nephi, Arkin, and Prince Vordry.
Oh, it's got the 3 fellas in there.
Yep.
And can you believe it? Barathi is over in their face, but Evie, who is playing the Death Army, has got Marathi at -4 to hit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I think Marathi's just going to be standing there doing nothing because you can't do much to her either, but she's also going to be doing not much to you.
Yeah,
so that's a good place to have that, that
makes
character.
Sense. Yep, absolutely.
I was going to say something terrible, but I better not.
Yeah, the Snake Bitch is what we sort of affectionately known her as. So, absolutely. Jump back in the chat. LLV, Dino is blue, looking at the scenario card. Why didn't I notice that? I don't know. I feel very silly right now, but that's okay. So, understand the reference now. Completely understand. But yeah, thanks for pointing out the absolute obvious right there, LLV. I definitely feel like a bit of an idiot, but that's okay.
It happens. But it's the third game of the first day where we're starting to get to the tired stage now.
We're hazing out.
So basically, we also have Volgoroth has basically gone over to the opponent's objective, but he's surrounded by eels.
Oh.
So it's just a matter of if he can survive the onslaught of the eels.
Yep.
He could potentially win the game for him if he's on the opponent's objective.
Yeah, absolutely. So Volgoroth could potentially kill off, like, I'm not sure if they're Morsa eels or... we have a bit of a nickname. They're called Danger Noodles in our club and in sort of the area, and they're simply known as shield eels or fighty eels. So not sure if they're Ishlan, I think it's Ishlan and Morsa, I believe they are. I'm not sure if they're Ishlan or Morsa eels, but if they're Morsa, they could be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, so because there's only one model, one gigantic model,
Correct.
he's outnumbered. So it's just a matter of whether he survives or whether he kills them.
Yeah.
So that'll be a
Interesting. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. We can actually see, that game from our table. So yeah, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that.
Yeah, definitely. So back to the stream table. So I haven't had too many updates, but it doesn't look like too much has happened.
So it's looked like the Tyrant's staying put. It looks like the boys are staying put, and the Boingrot Banners are going into some Storm Vermin here. So it looks like they've made the charge.
Yep, definitely. I'm not sure whether any wounds were done by the Thunder Tusk into anything. It doesn't look like much was done by him at this point. I still see the Plague Furnace and the Screaming Belt on the table, unfortunately.
Or fortunately, depending on who you're going for. So
Yeah, true.
you got to give Paris some support as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It just
Skaven, but yeah, you just kind of.
it's the one you love to hate, you know. So it's torn.
Everyone
confliction.
loves rats, but then you also like the mixed destruction too because they're not heard of either. So it's a very hard matchup to try and vote for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Vote with the heart, vote with the head.
Yeah.
There's a bit of heart here, there, and everywhere. But yeah, no, it's the mixed destruction is definitely doing an excellent job of keeping the Skaven at bay. Yeah, I'm so keen to see how this goes.
Did the Boingrot Banners just delete a unit of Storm Vermin? I think they did.
I would hope that they did. I would really hope that they did. So they're sneaking down the backside.
Absolutely.
Basically. So I don't know whether Paris has either forgotten about those guys or whether it's just they've just snuck down because they're quite quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's like smart from Dino as well. Is that where he's positioned his Boingrot Banners? Paris has to make a decision. Do I move? Do I move some of my furnaces and everything back? Do I commit it to the objective? What do I do here? But obviously the Malevolent Moon is happening here and doing some damage. So just a bit of chip damage there.
Yeah.
And obviously blocking them from being able to come back smoothly and quickly. So looking at that, the plagues, the furnace won't be able to fit between that terrain piece and the gap. So he could potentially have to be going all the way back. So super smart, super good positioning from Dino.
Oh, okay. So Scragot's mortal wound just killed one of the furnaces.
Oh my goodness!
Because what has happened
The Screaming Bell.
is the priority roll has been made, and Paris rolled a 6.
Oh jeez. So
And they both the furnace and the Screaming Bell, if I can speak it the English, has both died.
holy crap!
So that is a huge turning point in the
Wow.
game. Unfortunately for Dino, though, he failed his to win priority.
Yes.
Because he could have potentially snuck, like we were just talking about. If I could draw on the screen here, I'm going to take a wild guess and sort of go right way out. Just fix that by doing that. Those bounders there are quite dangerous because they can sneak. They could have snuck around and got into here and potentially have won the game.
Potentially.
There.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, he hasn't won priority. So now Paris gets to. He's sort
Another
of
round
realised
shooting.
that is something that can happen.
Yep.
And now can either bring.
Another Storm Fiend down, I think,
Yeah, another Storm Fiend down by the looks.
from the Vigor Dust and the Mormor
Yep, so
Warpower.
the spiders have killed another Storm Fiend. But what has happened now, because Paris has won that priority and he knows that those bounders are there, he can basically just make this a little bit safer. So whether or not he tries to block it out 6 inches away from these guys and sort of...
I guess it's like a bittersweet, really, isn't it? Like, as much as you'd like to take the turn and just cap the victory, you'd also not upset. That's kind of like the best case from a bad situation, I feel. Like, it's nice that those 2 units are now gone, but yeah, that's intense.
Yeah, so... lucky. That's the rat's luck.
Yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
rat's luck coming right out there, I feel.
It's what they deserve. It's what they deserve. Jumping into chat, LLV, definitely still in the blue. It's a rat, LLV. Given the Forks, just unapologetically supporting the mixed destruction here. So
Yeah, great to see.
absolutely great to see. So
Yeah, we
Paris-
don't see enough mixed destruction on top tables.
This is
so
true. So it looks like, the poor Tyrant is going to be taking all the grunt of all of the shooting. So, oh, geez.
Okay, so I believe he's splitting his shooting. So there'll be one going into the Tyrant, one going into the boys, and the others going into the squigs.
Right.
So obviously the longer shots are going to go into the squigs, and the 12-inch range ones should be going into...
Yep, so the rattling guns will be going into the Tyrant or the boys, and then the Plague Wind launchers will be shooting the... Oh, wow. This is intense.
It's intense, all right. I'm hoping that Tyrant can come across and just bash those Storm Fiends. I'm really hoping he can come. I don't want him to die. I want some sort of moral victory for that little
I just want to
fella.
see how many he can kill. I just want to see how many 5s and 6s he can roll.
Yes. Oh, just all of them.
All
I
of the
want him
5s
to be
and
like
6s.
Gotrek in that last game and roll like 4 6s.
Well, if he's doing that, if he gets all that, that'll be 6 damage a pop. So he'll be killing essentially like a Storm Fiend with each attack, which is pretty impressive, not going to lie.
Yeah,
so.
it would be pretty impressive. That would be like a nice, sweet ending to the last game of the day.
100%.
Is if it can just pop some 6s and just delete some Storm Fiends.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. It's definitely we've had some good games. Like obviously, Pat had a lot of things go his way with our last match on stream, Fire Slayers versus Khorne. But other our first game and this game, they're been nail biters, to be honest. Hey.
Yeah. Actually, that would sort of mean that if we've moved on to shooting, that he's gone past the movement. And the Tyrant's taken 2 wounds so far, so we've gone past the movement. So he actually hasn't tried to protect his objective anymore with those Storm Vermin that are there.
So whether that's oversight or...
I think that could possibly be a mistake by not sort of surrounding it in a 6-inch bubble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because those bounders, I'm pretty sure...
But they do fly, remember? So...
That's what I mean, yeah. I'm just going to say those bounders do fly.
Yep.
So whether or not trying to surround that objective would have worked, but even just making lines of 6 inches in front of it would have been better.
Yes.
Because I think with the 2d6 movement, those guys can definitely get over there.
There's a good chance, absolutely. LLV in chat, is there a Cliff Cliff Watch update? We haven't seen Cliff. Clint, who's taking over Cliff's place at the moment, said that Cliff is at home painting and putting together squigs at the moment for Runax Wargaming next month. So, as well as painting in the Heralds of War sweatshop to get some bits and pieces done as well. So, no Cliff. I'm not sure how Clint is going. I don't actually see where Clint is at the moment, actually. So
he's down the back right-hand corner. So luckily for Dino, those squigs have only taken 2 wounds, I believe. So the shooting, the shooting hasn't actually done all that Josh Cross Paris has hoped by the looks.
Yep. Looks like he's potentially measuring up a charge. Do the Storm Fiends get in? That could be game.
Definitely. So that's something we didn't really talk about either. Is there's a threat on each side of the table. So if those Storm Fiends do get into combat, I think it's going to be could
be game.
Could be game, unless that Tyrant swings and kills a few.
Yeah,
but then he's got to do a lot of wounds because he's going to be taking the models from the other end of the unit.
Yes.
Away first. I would imagine.
Yeah, you would imagine.
If you were going to be playing.
If it was me, that's where I'd be taking them from. So.
Yep. Ooh, so he's measuring out.
So you know how we were talking about those 3 clan rats, whether they were not really going to do much?
Block.
Yeah, absolutely. So
yep.
It's potentially good here. So
yes. So
it looks like we might be in Dino's turn now, I believe. So
yeah, we'll definitely have to find that out. But it definitely does look like that. The Storm Fiends must have failed their charge.
Oh, geez, that's lucky.
So that is lucky. So we're getting lucky rolls on both sides, to be honest. Saving them. So we got his destruction move off and charged with the boys.
Nice.
So that's pretty awesome.
Very nice.
Let's move them up.
So that'll be the Bombardier, I believe. So getting up in the Hize of that one. Protecting his mobile snowball throwing unit as well.
Definitely. I know where I'd be shooting that this turn.
I wonder if the play here is to move up the Tyrant and get him into contact with the Storm Fiends to potentially kill them and push them out of keep them away from the objective, or what the play is there. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Also, no use of the Norhole either, so that potentially, there's a lot of space up the back there, so potentially missed opportunity there as well. But yeah, we'll see. LLV, Clint unfortunately did go down in his round 2 against Daughters of Cain as well, so unfortunately he started the day with 2 losses, but that is quite okay. Could come back and win 3 more games, so we'll see what happens.
So it looks like Dino's just sort of deciding what he's going to do here. He looks like he could potentially be moving that Tyrant up.
He's going in.
Who wouldn't want to move that big fella up there? Get him in there. Get him amongst it. Oh,
this is what we want to see.
I hope he rolls off tap.
I am so keen. But all I want, excuse me, is this Tyrant just to blow up half this unit. Not going to lie.
Yeah, me either. I would be fairly excited to see that.
Yep.
It would be well worth it. Because it has been like just... Well, every turn here, Paris has got lucky with winning a few priorities, but he definitely has had each player has had some luck. So
absolutely,
whew, it's still game on.
I'm wondering if Dino will move over the Thunder Tusk sort of to block off a bit more of this space and everything like that, or whether he's going to stay there.
Yeah, I would also like to know whether he can see over that piece of terrain there, because there is a tower on top of it. So his line of sight might have been blocked, so he might have not had a choice. But you're right, he does look like he's blocked that.
So good call on
objective. Yeah, definitely good on you, Josh.
Oh, I'm so keen.
Oh, I'm wondering if there's going to be a Thunder Tusk as well as a Tyrant going in there. I would love to see that. Boyne Bounders obviously got...
He nearly forgot to move them.
Oh, no.
He was just about to roll the dice for some shooting and then remembered that the Boyne Bounders were around there.
Absolutely.
Whew, that is lucky.
Just jumping back into chat, does the Tyrant have the Realm of Life weapon and the sickle? I believe he has... He has Gaia Strike, so yeah, +1 to hit and +1 wound. So he also has the Great Gouger. So on 5s he'll be doing double damage. So tasty little combo there. Super keen. Know the name. He also will have a name from memory as well, being a Tyrant. I don't know which one he rolled up.
No, I'm not sure. Sorry,
but that's
I haven't heard that.
We can find that out. But yeah, oh geez, it's tight.
It's very tight. It's all sort of pinning, like hanging on this combat here with this Tyrant. So if he can really do a lot of damage to these Storm Fiends, then Josh is going to have a real hard time trying to get over to that objective.
Well, if Dino could win the priority roll as well, which could put him in an even better position again. So yeah. Interesting times, that's for sure. I think he's in. Oh, he's in. We've got a Tyrant in.
He's in. So did he? I wonder how much damage he did with the Thunder Tusk then, or did he shoot with the Thunder Tusk? Because I haven't heard anything there. So
I'm not
straight
sure.
into the charger, so I'll have to find out, because he doesn't look like he's taking any Storm Fiends away there.
And rolling a charge on the Boyne Bounders, looks like they potentially have failed the charge there. It looks like a pretty big charge, or maybe they've got it.
No, they failed their charge into the Clan Rats.
So he might just mop up this unit of 3 here, which makes sense. So might as well put yourself in a position.
That does put him closer, a little bit. So
well, just remember, all you need is one model that's close enough. So realistically, he can move the rest wherever he wants to.
And whether or not he can win the next priority.
Oh, he needs to. He's due for one. So.
Yeah. So it doesn't look like the Thanatos did any damage with his shooting. So.
Yep.
Unfortunately. So hopefully he's starting with the Tyrant.
Looks like he is. Oh no, he's finishing off. So maybe he's just confident in the Tyrant's ability that he's not going to take a huge amount of. He's not worried. He's got some big dick energy, and he's not worried about these Storm Fiends. So.
Oh, awesome! But they are the shooting ones can still. I don't know what they're like in close combat, but I think they still do 2 damage.
Yeah, I think it's 4s and 3s and 2 damage. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Jumping into chat, Psycho Weenie 86 looks like the Tyrant is the dude with the double hand weapon rather than the gut gouger. Yeah, I agree. It looks like he has a double-handed weapon for sure. But yeah, like definitely interested to see how this combat phase happens. So.
Yeah, definitely. So, looks like Paris is either attacking or rolling some saves. We'll have to find out what's going on there. See what's happening.
Oh yeah, so the Bombardier is going.
Yep.
I believe it's the Bombardier.
Oh, so the Tyrant did attack and rolled 2 1s to wound. It did nothing.
Oh no.
Really, sweet FA.
Oh no. So the Tyrant is whiffed, unfortunately.
And that's with the buff trying to get 4s for doing double damage.
Hey, it's 5s, yeah, that's what happens. I'm not sure, guys. They might be just a gentleman's agreement that it's a different loadout. Could be some conversions that we don't really see. It looks like a two-handed weapon, but he might have some other stuff modeled in the model. Haven't had a chance to really have a look, so not sure off the top of my head. But yeah, Dino's a smart guy. I'm sure it's got all the good gear or the appropriate gear there.
So it looks like because the Squigs made a charge move, and the way that they charged, they were rather pile into the clan rats as well. Yeah, so he has got the Gouger. That Tyrant has got the Gouger.
Yeah.
Oh no, my mistake. Yep, we're all good, so...
yeah, great gut gouger. Sorry, guys.
Yep, sorry.
Yeah.
We have just looked at the list as well. So yeah, great gut gouger. Makes sense.
Yeah, sorry guys. Bit of a mix-up. I thought that might have been a weapon loadout, but yeah, obviously it is, and I've just missed that. But that's okay. All
But
good.
unfortunately, the Tyrant hasn't managed to do much at all. Unfortunately, so hopefully, if he wins priority, he can.
Yeah, he probably.
He has done a good job of blocking though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's, I guess, like when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, he could be a sacrificial lamb, so that means the rest of the army doesn't have to take any shooting if he survives this. But yeah, potentially, yeah, it's one of those things, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's played well with what he's got. He's utilised what he has to try and prevent the Skaven from getting to his home objective very nicely.
Yeah, I think he's done well. I think he's done the best out of the best that he can at the moment. So jumping back in the chat, LLV outside of Cliff, how many dirty Hedonites? How many dirty Hedonites in the event? Is that dirty Hedonites?
Yeah, at the event. I think.
At the event. I'll have to double check on the pairings, but I think there's 1, 2. I know of definitely 2 off the top of my head. There could potentially be more, but two off the top of my head.
Well, it depends on what your class is.
So we've got Hayden.
Yep.
We've obviously
Carwin.
got Carwin. Yeah, we've got
Ryan
Carwin.
Hooper.
And Hooper. Sorry, 3. So 3 off the top of my head.
Alright, so the Tyrant took another 2 wounds from the Storm Fiends, if I haven't said that already.
That's not bad.
And now it looks like Josh is piling in his clan rats towards the Bounders. And attacking with them as well. So we'll see what happens.
We shall, yeah, we'll see what transpires here.
Yeah, so it looks like he got 2 wounds through 2 wounds, but it doesn't look like he wounded with any of them. And are they...
Yeah, so obviously just some combat happening. Priority roll. What's happened?
I'm not sure. So I'm pretty sure Dino just lost the priority again.
Oh, jeez. Jeez, Dino's really been on the back.
They both rolled a 5 for priority.
So means Paris has got it.
Yeah.
Oh, Skaven again.
So poor. Yeah, Skaven's definitely taking it. So poor Dino hasn't had any luck with the priorities there at all. So also commenting on that is like how well he's played by not winning any priorities.
Absolutely.
He's always had to
Far
be.
out. He's done well. So obviously we'll have endless spells moving. Obviously we'll have all that sort of happening as well. So yeah, wow. It's poor Dino, hey.
But he's played it well. So at least the Tyrant is still alive there. So the Storm Fiends are going to have to shoot him, and they're still going to need an above average charge to get into that Thunder Tusk.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Dino's still definitely in it. I would like to see how he's going to maneuver everything.
Yeah, definitely would be feeling the pain, that's for sure, if you were Dino right now.
Yeah, definitely. And he wasn't in range to cast more warp power on the Storm Fiends either, so unlucky there.
So we'll see what happens. Yeah, looking at the time, we've got about 45 minutes left left in the round. Jumping back on the cliff, are both fellas 3-0? I'm not sure.
Well,
I think
we've
Carwin
only,
might have lost one. I think Ryan Hooper might be on 2 or 3. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, some of them are still playing the game, so there'll be 2.
Yeah, so a bit early to tell. But yeah, you can definitely look at down under pairings at the end of the day if anyone wants to have a look at how the standings are going, where people are positioned, kill points,
other information and everything. It's actually a really good app. So if you're interested, jump on the website, have a look through. You got access to lists and all other information there. So feel free to jump on.
So the Bombardier
Yes.
did try to shoot and roll a 1.
Yes.
So I think he did 2d6 mortal wounds to himself because he must have overcharged or however that works.
Oh, potentially.
Yeah.
I believe it blows up. I just have to double check.
So he did do 2d6 mortal wounds to himself.
Oh, Jesus.
So that typical rat style.
Yeah, Skaven. That's what they do.
They love it.
What they do.
They love it. So it looks like he's now shooting with the Storm Fiends. I can gather that by just how many dice he's picking up to roll. So we'll see whether the Tyrant's going to make it through this or not.
Yeah, I don't think that the Tyrant's got a whole lot of hope, to be honest. But you never know. We'll see what happens.
No.
They did, they killed 4 boys before, so we'll see. We'll see.
So this would be turn. I think this is turn 5, is it?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So unless he gets there this turn, they're going to be going down to kill points.
Yep.
Unless Dino can get there. Yeah. So either one.
It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. And it's pretty close on there, except there's a lot of Storm Fiends left on the table. So unfortunately, with that much still on the table.
Well, it'll be interesting to see because it might be this unit of boys could potentially move up and destruction move on to there. And we've obviously got our squigs in this sort of general area here as well.
Yeah.
So technically, if they can retreat and move over here, as long as he can get sort of enough that's 6 inches away, because Paris has left quite a big gap at the front there, he might be able to get close enough in without even having to be in combat. So far out, it's going to be tight.
It's going to be tight. So the poor old Tyrant, even being next to mystical terrain, wasn't able to save that many saves.
Oh, no. You go, Gemma, sorry.
Okay, so he just rolled a 9-inch charge with the Storm Fiends.
Oh, no. So this could be
and
it.
That looks like it's put them into combat. So if he does kill that Thunder Tusk or outnumber him,
this could be game, guys.
and they took 4 mortal wounds from the spiders as well.
Oh wow, not bad.
So pretty good. Seems like that endless spell has really paid off.
Skaventide
The Skaventide has done some work.
Skaventide is not bad.
So it looks like he's only. Oh, he might get 3 Storm Fiends in combat there if he can move around.
Yeah, so you
Which
should be able to
potentially could put 2 in the range of that objective.
Yeah. Oh, it's going.
This is crazy.
So and then if it's at the end of his turn and the Thunder Tusk hasn't killed, but see, unless he does a lot of damage, if you're a good player, you'd be taking the ones from the back end of that unit.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So Paris is just going for it. So
surely is.
So that Storm Fiend's got to go there. That one can go into that one has to go into Scragrod or the Fungoid. I'm not sure what's actually there.
So they're just working out which one the closest model is, I suppose.
I think that one's a bit of an easy one, which is good. So, so we'll probably have 2 into the smaller character. I'm not sure if that's Scragrod or the Fungoid. And then we've also obviously got 1 into there. So, this is going to be...
It's just going to be, because, the Thunder Tusk got 12 wounds, so it's still a lot of...
I think the way that Dino's positioned as well looks like he could potentially have blocked him out. So... looking here, being a 6-inch bubble, he might only even get 1 Storm Fiend in range because, that one there, this one here, looks like it's probably a bit further out than 6. So,
that's what I was thinking. I
think Dino has just been a positional mastermind
for sure. So you have to when you're sort of playing, or when stuff happens. That has happened in this game where you lose your big units and you're sort of relying on what you've got left. You have to think outside the box and try and protect your objective.
100%. That's a 200 IQ move right there. Not gonna lie.
Yes, you're right. I think the Tyrant is going to be a smear.
He was a smear.
Poor little bugger.
He was a big old angry smear, unfortunately.
But absolutely crazy.
Well, it doesn't look like they killed the Thunder Tusk or anything because that combat is over.
Oh, wow.
And it looks like the Boingot Brounders are now moving in to try and do some damage to those clan rats.
Hot damn. Let's see what happens and what transpires here. Oh, are you biting your nails? I'm biting mine.
2 wounds to the Hearthguard and 3 wounds to Scragwater is what they did up there.
Wow, okay.
So not quite enough to take anything off.
Yep.
And being turn 5, they were... I don't think they're going to be taking that objective off him.
No, well, that's effectively Paris's round, really. So if he didn't want to take any more damage, he could definitely just retreat those 2 out of combat, potentially move back the Fungoid if he really wanted to, and he's got that objective. So it's really just going to come down to does he have the tools, does he have the ability to move off these clean rats.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it comes down to, because he's got his turn next. So it just depends on if these clan rats, with the weight of attacks, can do anything to these bounders.
I'm going to make a call. I'm going to say that he's going to run and move the boys up. The Boingrot bounders are going to retreat and jump over to the front. And I reckon if he's got enough, I reckon that could be
a big dick player move right there.
Oh, for sure. I'm actually keen to see how he does this, because he's very good at reading the table and using what he's got in strategic ways. To get the sneaky objective grab. I've seen him do it before in other tournaments. He's a very, very good player.
Absolutely.
I suppose he's had to learn how to use this mixed destruction, because they're not exactly a top tier army. So the way he's been playing them,
made him top tier. So.
He has made it. That's what I mean. Like, he's the general behind there that is basically knows how to use them and uses them very well.
Absolutely. That's what they say. It's the pilot, not the ship, that sometimes
basically is the determining factor between success and losing, unfortunately. So this is tight. I'm excited.
It is tight, actually. One turn to go, and it's going to be Dino's. I'm keen to see what he does. Hopefully he doesn't forget about those boys up there.
Jeez Louise, he's going to want to get some destruction moves. Fire it. Some of that stuff can probably help him a fair bit, hey?
Yes. Oh, for sure. Maybe one turn he'll actually roll a 4 for a command point too.
Hey, maybe. Maybe. Fire it.
Dino hasn't had much luck this game.
It's going to be a decision to make too. Like, if he does a destruction move, and then that could put them outside of a hero giving them a 6-inch to run as well.
Potentially.
So it just
but if he moves the hero first, then he has
to retreat them out of combat with the Storm Fiends, yes.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what he does.
No, but he'll have the Fungoid Cave Shaman as well, which I believe is on top of the terrain piece.
Is it on top of the terrain piece?
Yeah, on top of the mystical terrain, so just here.
Okay, right. I couldn't see him there. I thought that was just a piece of terrain. Sorry.
No, that's okay. There's potentially some moves there. Definitely some potential there as well. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I won't worry about updating the CP guys because, obviously, last turn we know what's going on.
So obviously gone to Dino's turn, so he hasn't done enough damage to those clan rats, and the clan rats obviously didn't do too much to him as well over there.
Because they would be on 5s and 5s, I believe, to hit and wounds. So
that's pretty hard to get some wounds through with those stats.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm not sure whether he's managed to get any more CPs from Scragrod or the Shaman.
Oh, he could be just throwing a snowball at this at the Snorfiends as well, so it could be putting a nail in the coffin. Will it have to go in there?
Yes, it does.
Oh, jeez.
Yep, so we are definitely into the Dino's turn, so he must be... Look at that, Josh pinned that. He's trying to get those boys up there.
So, Auric boys.
Yep. So all he has to do is just get within 6 inches with all those fellas.
Just has to outnumber, and he's on, so...
Whoop, whoop. Let's see if he can do it. I'm excited. So he has moved up. I don't know if that was their move and he's trying to do a charge or what the story is.
If he can get his character within range,
and re-roll the charge?
Yeah, it might be worth re-rolling the charge.
Actually, no. I heal one. Gonna go to spell casting.
So it looks like he's done some wounds to some Storm Fiends there, which means he hasn't moved. It depends on the distance, because he hasn't moved the Shaman up then.
Yeah.
To possibly do the re-roll of the charges.
Charge. He might. I don't think he's in range, but he might be within 6. So.
He might be within 6, but I'm not exactly sure.
Scragrod's 12 inches as well, so he might.
Yeah, he might be within range.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see from here. I think the Scragod could just be in. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'd say Dino's probably thought about it. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely.
So those Storm Fiends, Storm Vermin, I should say, on the top right, they could have been potentially adding some more pressure in if they remember to be brought in. So.
Well, he's piled in with the bounders.
Okay,
so obviously
my call wasn't correct in regards to, wasn't right in regards to the retreat move, but we'll see how we go.
Unless this is turn 4.
We could have mucked up our turns.
We
here.
could have mucked up our turns here. So we'll see what's going to happen here.
Absolutely. Oh well, this is tight.
Next
Because
time we should probably
populate some
populate
fields.
some fields there so we know exactly
okay.
what turn we're on.
That's all right. Obviously, an easy trap to fall into. With,
Definitely, we were so engrossed in the game.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just so much happening. It's been so tight. So yeah, really, really interesting. Great game to watch so far.
So
and
it's taking some clan rats off.
can they fail some battle shock? Can you roll a 6?
Maybe. Well, I think at least he's taken 4 off.
Okay.
3 or
so
4
they
off.
could potentially be bravery 1, I believe, right now.
5 clan rats died.
5.
Five.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
So, what, they're bravery 4, aren't they?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. I think they're either bravery 4 or bravery 5. So some are running. So
So unless he rolls a 1.
depends on what happens to this cob mat up the top. If he can get rid of a small character, he could be potentially outnumbering here. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah, so this is Dino's turn, so...
Because he needs to hold both. So hold both objectives for the major. So
Yes. Well, they
not
still need to
tie.
do a lot of wounds to the Thunder Tusks. I think they only did 1.
Actually, now that I think about it, you have to control both. So you don't, if it's 1 for 1, you still control that objective because it hasn't been taken off you. So
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so he would still be fine. My bad.
Yeah.
They're bravery 4, so it's D6 are running. So.
Yeah, D6 are running.
Oh Jesus!
Woo! I like it.
Oh, this is terrifying.
It is terrifying.
I think Dino
it is
might
a
have it.
nail biter.
I think Dino might have it.
I think Dino might have it. He has pulled it back. That's
well,
impressive.
But we'll see. But we'll see.
Scragrot went down to the lightning fist, I think,
Oh,
is what I was just told.
shock fist, yeah.
Yep. And the Thunder Tusk looks like it's taken some wounds.
Yep.
And he's piling in to attack there.
Thunder Tusk. Oh jeez, this is absolutely terrifying. This is big. This is big. We're doing some counting. It must be close. Oh jeez.
He's probably wondering how many attacks he can get because the clan rats haven't attacked back yet, I'd say.
Potentially. Oh jeez.
He needs to make a save, and some damage goes through, and he's done some damage to. He
he's
has
killed one.
He has
Okay.
killed one, so he's only got 3 left there.
I think it's 2. Oh, that's one there as well.
I think that's
okay.
3.
Oh jeez. So once that was 9, now is 3. Far out. This is insane.
Yeah,
This is
and the
such a good
tyrant
game.
hasn't done anything to them, and the ogres didn't do anything to them. So
Is the
this-
tyrant still alive? I thought he
No,
got shot
but
to
like
death.
I was saying, he's done taken 6 storm fiends off.
Yeah.
Without those 2 big
Yeah,
hammer units.
absolutely.
It's very awesome.
Yeah, he's done well.
has done
really
well.
well.
Yeah. And also there'll probably be battle shock up there as well.
Yeah. So yeah, could potentially lose a Storm Fiend as well.
So I'm wondering how all the Skaven pass their battle shock when, if he lost 5 and the clan rats of bravery 4.
And we've got the handshake. I think.
So
Yeah, so just getting a few details here and everything like that. So maybe some people have forgotten some rules here, but yeah, whatever happened. So it is the person's responsibility to remember their rules. So
that's correct. Yep. I was just wondering what was happening because they were adding up some points.
sure. But anyways, yeah, is what it is, and
So we haven't got a victor yet because they're still adding up some points. So this has really gone down to the nail biting.
yeah,
So there was a handshake, but we are just clarifying
yeah, potentially they're
who was the victor.
yeah, potentially have drawn on models on objectives potentially. So yeah, maybe if they remember that battle shock phase, it might be a different result. But yeah, we'll see how we go there.
We'll see how we
So,
go. See what the information is that we can get.
Absolutely. But anyways, yeah, great game. People in the chat, let us know what you think. What did you guys think of that game? That was intense. Super intense. Everyone impressed with how Dino performed? I personally am absolutely blown away how well he played that game.
Me too. Like pulling it back like that, especially at the beginning, with it just looked overwhelming.
Yeah.
It looked overwhelming with the
Yeah.
sea of monks.
It's just
the
like-
big unit.
Yeah, turn 1, Vermin Lord, turn 1 charging your lines. Getting some free clan rats. I was just like, fire out, Dino is on the back foot
From the beginning.
From get-go.
But I think that's what he thrives on. So when he is playing his mixed destruction, he's always used to sort of being on the back foot. So he does have that mindset of being able to make, like I said, the out of what am I trying to say here? The out of square, like just the decisions he has made are just
absolutely.
different.
Yep.
And he has to think like that when he's playing like this because they're not. He has, like you said, he has made them a top tier army.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just because he thinks outside the box.
Yeah, that's it.
Because they're always on the back foot.
Absolutely. Dodgy, I think it may have been forgotten, but obviously we can't interfere with that game. Naturally, our table boss can't interfere with that game as well. So whether that's an oversight or not, whether we've missed something, I'm not 100% sure. But hey, that's Warhammer at the end of the day.
That's
so
exactly.
sometimes you miss things, sometimes you forget things. That happens. So
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're just the
we are
innocent
simple,
bystanders.
simple spectators of some great Warhammer. So is what it is at the end of the day. So
hopefully we can get a answer here shortly.
Yeah.
They're just doing some measuring here. Obviously they're just questioning something by the sounds.
Sure.
Measuring.
Dodgy is screaming at the screen. Good to hear. Well, what we might do is, as they're wrapping up and figuring this out, we might just swap it back to face cam, and we'll continue on. So another great game, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that was the tightest game of the day, I believe. Like, you just weren't sure what Dino was going to do, how he was going to pull it back, and then when he did pull it back, you're just like, wow.
Yeah.
I think I learnt something from that game watching it, like how you can use endless spells as blockers or positioning your stuff on your objective just to try and stop units getting there too in the really precise way that he's done that.
Yeah, I think what I really liked out of that game was definitely the positioning of the Thunder Tusk there, putting Scragrot there, so no matter what he did, like even if he did kill Scragrot, he wasn't getting more than 2 models within range. So
Yeah, just little things like that is how mixed destruction players have to virtually play.
it's like
their
how any
games.
good player plays, really. So
But those guys, they don't have the units that everyone has.
Yeah,
They don't have the
100%.
tools. So
Absolutely.
doing unusual things like that puts them above the rest.
Yep.
So just imagine what they're going to be like when he plays a top tier army. Like, it
Yeah,
would be
absolutely.
amazing.
100%. Okay. So we've just got some news from our table boss. The players have noticed that the battle shock phase didn't happen there. So they've corrected that, and Dino has won that one on a major win. So
Yeah, for mixed destruction.
So Dodgy, you got your justice.
Blue.
Dodgy got your justice. Mixed destruction, taking the win against the Skaven there. So amazing.
Holy fuck.
Like, Australia always brings out the little nooks and crannies of armies
Yeah,
here, like
absolutely.
just the little surprises that we have. So
Absolutely.
we will be getting the winner up here to do an interview. So I will leave Josh to do that, like he has the last couple of games.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you don't mind, just trying to keep this microphone on.
Yeah, so you pretty much have to eat the microphone to talk into it. So sorry about that, Dino. Dino. Well done, mate. Holy crap.
That's pretty tight.
We were having a good chat about it, and we were just like, man, this is like unreal. Like that was what Warhammer's all about. Like not winning a priority role, tyrant whipping. Like we were just thinking, how the hell?
I didn't win a pro. No.
No, you didn't win one.
Scragrot MVP.
Scragrot MVP.
Straight up, yeah.
So we were just like, how the hell is Dino gonna like pull this out of the bag? Like he's on the back foot. Like Vermin Lord turn 1. What the fuck? Like
Yeah, that blew me away. I don't even know what Skaven do, so I learned it on the fly.
Yeah, so they roll dice. If he rolls a double 6, he gets a free Vermin Lord. Obvious choice. So so pretty small. I think it's pretty low chance of that happening. But well done, mate.
No, look, good armor. He was a good dude. It was good opponent. It was good fun. So
absolutely.
I thought when he got that charge with the Storm Fiends, that was it.
I thought that was it.
I wanted to move the Thunder Tusk up, shoot those main rats, Scrag Rod, and then I would have just walked on him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Made it a bit tough. And I didn't realise his bravery was full, but it's lucky. It
was really funny. In the chat, we've got LLV, who was rooting for you the whole time. Dodgy, one of the guys from down in Brizzy, was yelling at the screen, saying "Battle Shock, Battle Shock." So he was definitely rooting for you. And then obviously we've got Wes on there a bit on there as well. And Wes has been in your corner from the time from the start, basically.
But in my defence, Dave Kerr picked my list, so it's going pretty hot.
Okay, there we go. So the master having some input there, but I think no matter what, I think we're going to be playing with some hot fire.
Yeah, it's good fun. So you're running a good event, so everyone's having a good time.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, good luck,
Thank you very much.
Awesome, mate. Well
Cheers.
done. Awesome, and we'll get Paris is coming in next. Coming close. We will have to talk into that microphone to be able to hear you. But thank you, Paris.
How's it going?
Great game, mate. Holy, we were just we were thinking that was a great game of Warhammer. So it was definitely your game to lose, I feel, sort of winning those priorities and everything like that. But we were sort of talking about how Dino is definitely a veteran of the game, really good player. So I think going down to the big D, I don't think that's a bad thing or anything to be ashamed of, man. So
I got pretty lucky in a lot of that shit.
well, that's hammers, man. So a lot of the time, unfortunately, it's you win some, you lose some. That's for sure. So, but how's that turn 1 Vermin Lord?
Oh man, that threw me off my bloody game, eh? I was prepared for everything else. I just looked at it and went, I have no idea what to do now.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's alright.
Yeah, we were talking about it, when it came up and then you were sort of moved it off to the side, we're just should he be trying to protect it a little bit? And we're just no, that's okay, it's free.
Yeah.
It doesn't count towards VP, so just throw it in there, stuff it, get it in there.
Yeah.
And,
I felt like it did alright for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I stuffed up my priority order. I should have attacked with the Vermin Lord before the Death Frenzied guys because they couldn't lose anymore. So
I was not expecting that unit to just disappear.
There was a lot of damage out of those ogres. Didn't even realise.
Unreal, absolutely unreal. But man, just wanted to say that was an amazing game. That was so good to watch.
So tight.
We've got everyone in chat is definitely just in agreement as well. That was a crazy game.
I totally stuffed up the Storm Vermin. I was looking at him at the end of the game going, I forgot about those.
Yeah, we did mention that they might have been forgotten a little bit in the top corner there, but hey, as long as you learned something from it, mate, and you had a good time, that was a great game of Warhammer. So
there was a couple of charges not using the CP. This is my first major tournament, and I think this is game 8 for me total.
Yeah, we were just explaining that. Obviously new to AOS, new to the game, but doing extremely well, man. And definitely as a friend of yours outside the game, we're definitely very proud, and you're doing a great job, man. So nothing to be upset or nothing to be ashamed about. You've been doing well, so that's awesome, man. Well, thank you very much for jumping on. Well done. Good luck for the rest of the event, and we'll come later. Awesome. All right, thanks, Paris. Awesome.
Okay.
So jumping back on chat, Dodgy, yes, even though I'm a Skaven player, Dino played out of his skin. Yeah, absolutely agree. LLV on the train, Dino. Where's Dino the man? Absolutely. LLV, Dino, move a bit. Almost out of shot. Dino has the world's biggest arms and he is the muscliest man, so I don't think he would have even fitted in the shot, to be honest. So Callum Kavanagh, is this a big competition? It's big for Toowoomba. I'm not sure where you're from, but Toowoomba is in Queensland, sort of west, an hour and a half west of Brisbane. So probably the biggest tournament in Toowoomba. But in the grand scheme of things, Australia has some really big events. BrisCon was 100 players. We've had BrisHammers, which are in the high 30s. Obviously, CanCon, the biggest one. Right at the top of that, almost 200 mark, looking like it'll completely eclipse 200 next year. Looking at
that's
about
gonna be
that
unbelievable.
200 plus players as well. So
Yeah.
not big for here, but in the grand scheme of things, not that big really. So we've got LV again, the Colonel, so Dave Kerr, Dino O'Cade to his outs, got lucky where he needed. Absolutely, he got what he needed to get done, and definitely played out of his skin. Could not agree more.
It definitely was a good game. So
LLV consolation chair. That's very big of you, LLV. That's very nice of you. But absolutely fantastic game. It was funny. Everybody was sort of deciding who we wanted to put on the screen for this game, and we had quite a few options. And I'm so glad that we picked.
Me too.
I'm so glad we picked this game because that was great.
Paris or Josh, as his actual name is, has done really well. This is probably his.
He said his eighth game.
Eighth game of AOS ever. So he has done really, really well. Naturally, playing Skaven is good. He seems to have meshed with them very well.
Absolutely, So it was a conscious choice for him to pick them. Obviously, I met Paris. I used to work at the friendly local game store Battle Station. Paris used to play competitive Magic. Still plays competitive Magic. So definitely not new to the competitive scene or busted janky stuff and different things like that. Obviously, with that Magic background, but I think he's transitioned really well, and I think Paris, given him some time, match with Skaven, I think he's going to be someone to look out for in the future.
Oh, definitely to look out for. I know that he has definitely got some lists sorted. He's been reading the book. He's been ordering stuff, so he's jumped onto the AOS wagon heavily. So we might be able to see him at a couple more tournaments shortly.
I'm really keen because it means another great player locally. It means someone who's playing Skaven, which is not really a great amount in Toowoomba at the moment. So, hey, welcome aboard, Paris.
Yeah, well, come in.
Awesome. Looking back in the chat, LLV let us know that the current AOS benchmark is 196, break 200. So, if it's over that mark, which, if everything goes to plan, should happen.
Yes, it should.
But you never know. Obviously, dropouts, different things, circumstances. We can't predict the future, but I would be surprised if it was less than 196. So
yeah, definitely, especially with the 240 tickets that are sold. It's going to be a substantial amount of dropouts.
Unreal.
Hopefully, it doesn't happen.
Cliff actually rode in on his Abyssal Terror before, and his whoosh cape still whooshing around. Let us know that there's about 20 to 30 people on the waiting list at the moment. So there's definitely, if you're interested in jumping onto CanCon, get in touch with Clint, get in touch with the Heralds of War, and just let them know that you're interested in jumping on that wait list, because otherwise, you might have a fairly large queue in front of you. So
exactly. And you don't want to miss out on the event. I've been to it for that'll be my third year next year to it. So I'll be putting it on the calendar every year after that. So I will not be missing out.
Yeah, absolutely. If you haven't been to a CanCon before, if you've been to big tournaments, it's something in itself. But I think when it's pushing 200, it's something else. Walking into the convention centre in Canberra, walking in, and then all you can see is tables is just something else. Absolutely.
It's just unbelievable. You just feel, it's almost like an empowering feeling. You're walking in, as silly as that sounds, you just walk in, you're like, God damn, this is good. We are part of this community. Look at everyone with this common interest, having fun, and we all love it.
And that's the interesting thing about CanCon as well, is that it is a convention, so there is other systems playing, there is other tournaments going side by side, and now I think last year we took up a good pushing on half of the hall, I think. So it's a convention center. It is massive, and in one of the halls we are effectively taking up half of it. So it's that a small section of. I don't even remember what was there. I think it was War Machine last year.
I think so, yeah.
It would have been about 50 War Machine players, and then vendors, and then the rest was us.
And the rest was us. So we're probably going to be taking up more space next year, which is
we will.
Amazing.
Well, when you think about that, if we've got another 40 players, so instead of 20 tables, that's effectively going to be taking up all of the War Machine space. So we'll be taking up half the hall.
Half the hall, and then the other half's probably going to be vendors. So
unreal. Absolutely unreal.
someone's just pointing over here, so sorry, everyone. Just
Oh,
waving.
so, LV, Gemma, what are you taking down this year? What are you thinking?
To CanCon,
Yes.
I will be participating in the TOing.
TOing again?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yep.
I won't be playing, and that's okay with me because I'm just happy to help out Clint with doing the events. I'm
Yeah.
excited about doing the jobs down there. So I just feel really privileged being part of it, actually.
Yeah, it's a good bit of fun. I am not going to lie, I was pretty happy, even though I was painting all this week, like not having to think about things, not having that last minute prep, not having to worry about anything was pretty nice, not going to lie.
Yeah, it is nice, especially travelling down there too. So
Yeah.
this year in January we actually drove down, so the less armies we could try and pile in, and you were a part of that too.
Yeah, so
the less we had to pile in, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. Jumping into chat, we have Thonius. So hello, Travis. How are
Travis.
you? Everything's working. Thank you for your help.
Yes, big time.
Absolutely massive shout out to Travis. Travis was kind enough to answer questions, help with getting things to work, little things like being able to draw on the screen, layers, any questions we had. Travis was more than happy to help us. So yeah, massive shout out to Travis. Thank you very much, mate.
Those messages I just sent you in desperation, one after the other, I apologise for that, and I will be buying you a drink and some lunch at some stage in the future when we catch up. So all the help has been appreciated. That's another thing that's really great about this community, is that you can rely on mates now that you've formed through AOS to give you a hand. And LLV, I hope to be doing some commentary. That would be nice. I did enjoy it last year. Hopefully I can get a little bit more experience now that we've sort of set up our own one.
Yep.
And get a bit more confident as well. So I would be loving to do some of that next year.
Absolutely. Travis in the chat, happy to assist. Disappointing couldn't get on to watch. That's cool, man. No stress at all. Obviously appreciate everything like we just mentioned. If you get a chance tomorrow, obviously we're happy to have you. Travis the Tech Man, absolutely LV, absolute weapon. Love you the most. I would kiss you, Travis. I will. I'll do it. Horace, obviously a bit of appreciation there. Thanks, man. Really appreciate that. The kind words are definitely appreciated.
You're a legend.
Admiral Aussie Tim, great stream. Time for some dinner. Best of luck tomorrow. Thanks, Aussie Admiral Tim. Good luck with painting the frigates. Give us a yell at failed charge at Joshua Ma _ Love to see what you've been working on. But yeah, guys, really appreciate keeping us company. It's been great.
Yeah, this has been good, and thanks to Travis, I have learnt how to export these videos from Twitch as well onto YouTube. So I will be putting them up on our YouTube channel, which is also called The Failed Charge, at some stage within the next week or so once it's all done. So they will be up there as well. So thank you so much for that. Otherwise, we probably have not much more to discuss, and we will be back tomorrow morning.
Yeah, pretty much, guys. It's pretty much the last sort of tail end of the round. There's sort of about 10 to 15 minutes left of the round. Looking around the board, everyone's sort of finished. Everyone's effectively just sort of tallying up scores. I think there's one game, Daughters of Cain versus Nurgle, which I think is still going. But other than that, there's not a huge amount happening at the moment. Predatory Neckbeard getting ready to belt up Akeem Wallace using the new Auric book tomorrow. Hell yeah, that sounds great. Predatory Neckbeard, who are you? I'm curious. I need to know. Horace, did Daveco win?
He's still playing, by the way. If he is hiding on the other side.
No, Dave was on this side against Stormcast, so I think it was looking good, but not 100% sure. But I'm sure we'll get some info through to you. LV, plug, go watch the Honest Wargamer covering the Irish. Yeah, so absolutely, guys. If you guys are doing nothing now, definitely jump onto the Honest Wargamer. Also, there'll be Bendigo Bush Bash. Naturally, we want you to watch our stream. If you want to keep us company, definitely won't be upset about that. But if you do want a bit of a break or want to have a look at some other stuff, there's definitely some amazing content out. Honest Wargamer, Bendigo Bush Bash. And yeah, that's basically, there's lots of AOS this weekend. Obviously, Sydney GT next weekend. Shitloads of Warhammer.
Just coming out everywhere. So, Tim Brampton, yes, I met you when we went to Cairns at the first quarter of the year at the tournament. Absolute awesome.
Oh, awesome, dude.
So
hey, man.
Thank you very much for watching. And Day is running now a day.
Darkling Covens.
with Gotrek.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure he snuck Gotrek in there too.
Yeah, Gottrek's
So-
just come to hang out with some sneaky Dark Elf business. So yeah,
So he's basically winning the games for him, Dave's. He's obviously his skills gone down, so he's had to involve
Yeah.
Gotrek to do the work for him.
he's got a sore leg, so he's using some crutches. So yeah, thanks LOV, really appreciate that, mate. Thank you so much. Predatory Neckbeard, cheers for the calls, guys. Great work. No worries, man. Thank you. Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for keeping us company. Hope you enjoyed your time. As always, chat if there's anything that was a bit annoying or things that you think could be done a little bit better. Always happy to receive constructive criticism there. Get in touch. Love to hear from you guys. But I think that's us for today, guys. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we'll be kicking things off tomorrow. Probably on a little bit earlier, just to sort of just to get things started. So probably like 1:45 to 9 Eastern Standard Times. If everyone jumps on, we'll start to get things organised. LOV, everyone go buy Cliff's Raffle Army tickets. Yep.
Yes,
So keep an eye on
definitely
that.
get on there. Get that done.
Yeah, mid-October. Mid-October that'll be happening. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, just to reiterate. Go follow Heralds of War. Go follow Brizhammer. Go follow. Who else?
Following, like if we want to do some
Honest
shout-outs,
Wargamer.
Honest Wargamer, Doom and Darkness. Get on Doom and Darkness.
Doom and Darkness.
He's got a YouTube channel as well. He is fantastic. He's been doing some battle reports. He's been
doing it forever.
He's been on there forever. He's one of the OG channels that I've been
OG
watching.
content
So
creator for a
please
real
get
long
on there and
Doomcast,
excuse me.
definitely great.
Doomcast, get on there and watch him. He's a legend. He's down in Adelaide. Went to a tournament down there at the beginning of the year, and it's something I'll be penciling in every year. It was probably one of my favourite